Masking up. The best defense against the spread is in your face coverage. Remember to wear your mask in public and stay home if you are feeling sick. Thank you for doing your part. One team, one heartbeat. Go Tigers!
Many people are injured and can't afford to get the treatment they need because insurance companies won't pay until the case is closed. I'm attorney Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
Offices in Baton Rouge.
104.5 WNXX Jackson, 104.9 KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Wednesday, August 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 90. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, we have the latest edition of Would You Rather Wednesday. ESPN's Mike Triplett stops by at 8 a.m. The SEC Network's Roman Harper joins the show at 8:30. You can follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch us live on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Make sure to subscribe and get over to the Off the Bench YouTube channel. Subscribe and set your notifications there for new content posted daily. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off and at it off the bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. Online at 1045ESPN.com. We're on your smart speakers this morning. YouTube Live if you're watching on 1045 ESPN station. Good morning. Jordy Collada, T-Bob Hebert, Matthew Musso, and Danny Cardenas here with you until 10 a.m. this morning. 8:30, we will talk to Roman Harper, one of the newest additions to the SEC Network. Be a part of the game day lineup for the SEC Network. We'll talk to the former Alabama and New Orleans Saints safety, Carolina Panther, coming up here at 8:30 this morning. 8 a.m., Mike Triplett from ESPN.com. Saints back out onto the field today after a day off. We'll talk to Triplett, who covers the black and gold over at ESPN, straight up 8 a.m. Would You Rather Wednesday, 8:15 this morning, taking your scenarios inside of the YouTube app. If you got some scenarios for us, make sure and jump inside of the comment section over there on YouTube. No guests in the first hour, so we're wide open. We'll react to some of the sound yesterday from Ed Orgeron. Alvin Gentry was speaking for the first time since being dismissed from the New Orleans Pelicans. Darius Guice back in the news for all the wrong reasons. Lots to get to on OTB coming up here until 10 a.m. Powered every day by All-Star Toyota. How you feeling, big fella?
Feeling good. Feeling good. One day before this colonoscopy, so just keep my mind right. Yeah, they're coming up tomorrow. Getting old, man.
What's the deal on the eating? 24 hours you can't eat?
No, it's been the last couple days.
Last couple of days?
A lot of white bread turkey sandwiches. There's like some things you can't eat. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, the real prep begins in earnest tonight. That is when I'll start having to drink whatever that foul concoction is that they make you drink. So just be ready to for me to leave segments in the middle of the show tomorrow because I will still be
coming in.
Yes, I will still be drinking said drink tomorrow.
You want to do that?
I think it's a funny bit. And I'm a dancing monkey.
Could backfire.
And all of my life.
We are here for your entertainment.
It's just about content.
Literally. Quite literally backfire.
Literally.
Yeah. Maybe I get Central Plumbing to come in here and like install a toilet in my seat or something. I don't know, man. I'm a dancing monkey. I like this job. I like coming in, so I am going to come in. But who knows what form I'll be in.
Well, just look here from the crew. You don't have to. Here are your headlines on this Wednesday, August 19th.
Yeah, I guess I should maybe ask y'all because I could see why you maybe wouldn't want to share a room with me.
Headlines on Off the Bench.
LSU football yesterday, a media briefing from Coach Ed Orgeron on Tuesday after his stop on Off the Bench. Coach spoke to a horde of media via Zoom. He also updated that LSU defensive end Justin Thomas had left the team. As Coach O announced that, Thomas recently rejoined the squad in February after withdrawing from school in October due to personal reasons. The Daphne, Alabama native played in 5 games last season with 1 start. Here's more from Coach Orgeron talking about the last 5 months.
There were some days there was only about 2 or 3 of us in here, and there were some Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. I sit on my porch out there till about midnight because I didn't want to go home, and but it was good to see the coaches get back, and eventually everything get back. I always felt that everything would get back, but I got to admit, just like everybody else, I never thought I'd see the world shut down. Everybody wearing masks and no traffic on the road in Los Angeles or New York or Baton Rouge. We got out of traffic too. And not be able to go in a restaurant and order some good food. So I never thought I'd see that in my lifetime, but it did happen. But I know we bounced back. So I always thought we'd bounce back for sure.
More from Orgeron yesterday talking about the mentality of his team here in preparation.
But I do believe that the attitude around here is that we want to play. Obviously, that's going to be the doctor's decision. That's not our decision. But if they tell us we can play, we want to play. So we feel comfortable. Our guys, the guys that did get sick, most of them are asymptomatic. They got quarantine and stuff like that, but we didn't have guys that were really sick that we had to take to the hospital or anything. So I think our guys are getting used to it.
One more from Orgeron yesterday talking about some of the battles between 2 of his superstars, Jamar Chase and Derek Stingley.
It's everything that we sell in recruiting. Iron sharpens iron. You're looking at 2 potential, 2 of the best players in the country. And every day, they're very similar in their personalities. They're very humble. They're very hungry. They don't want to talk about themselves. They just want to compete, man. And the things that you saw in film are right. Yesterday, one guy's going to win. Today, the next guy's going to win, and they know it's on. So, but I do show it to the team, and I use it as an example. Iron sharpens iron. This is how you prepare to play.
And as we pointed out yesterday, it's not just helping Jamar Chase and Derek Stingley, but those benefits obviously extend to the quarterback position. Like Miles Brennan throwing on Derek Stingley and this LSU secondary every day. I don't know that he'll face a better secondary the entire year when it comes to the actual game. So, yeah, having someone like Stingley on your team has so many ripple positive benefit effects.
We will talk more about or listen to more of the sound that came out of Coach O's press conference yesterday coming up here on Off the Bench. New Orleans Saints guard Andrus Peat is likely to miss 2 to 3 weeks with a broken thumb. That's what a source told ESPN's Dan Graziano on Tuesday, which means he could potentially return in time for Week 1. Veteran backup Nick Easton replaced Peat in the starting lineup during Monday's practice. Easton also filled in for Peat last season when he missed 6 games with a broken arm.
Yeah, a couple of interesting things to note here. First off, really tough break for Peat. He had come in, he had signed the big contract, feeling the pressure. He had come in better shape than he'd ever been in his entire career. He was looking super slim, super trim, super ready. Now, this injury, Jordy, kind of bumps him right up against that Tampa Bay kickoff. Like, it's unclear whether he would be available or not. I think he would, but he's still not going to get the prep time that he would have if he did not get injured. Secondly, what does this do for the rookie first-round pick in Cesar Ruiz? Already, as we talked about with Underhill yesterday, it seemed like me and Nick probably reading way too much into what Sean Payton was saying. It seemed yesterday like McCoy had a pretty firm grasp on that center position and that they were going to cross-train Ruiz, but don't know if he was going to fully commit to center. Now, I say you just commit him to right guard, and you have him and Easton battle for that right guard position.
We will talk to Mike Triplett of ESPN.com, who covers the New Orleans Saints at straight up 8 a.m. this morning. We'll ask him about some of the scenarios on the offensive line. Yesterday, Alvin Gentry was speaking for the first time since being dismissed last Saturday by the New Orleans Pelicans and David Griffin. He was on First Take on ESPN. Here he was talking about his overall reaction.
I mean, obviously, I would think so, but there's people that make decisions that that are in charge, and those are the things you have to go with. So I'm fine with it. They wanted to make a change. I still think I'm a good basketball coach. I still think that team is going to be a very good basketball team. It's a bunch of young guys just trying to find themselves. But as I said, the people in charge decided that it was time to make a change. So I'll go with that and just move on to my next venture.
One more from yesterday on First Take. Did Gentry see it coming?
I would have to say that it did catch me by surprise. But, obviously when you're in a situation where you're trying to get a franchise going and you got a bunch of young guys, these kind of things can happen. As I said, I think that team is going to be a good basketball team. Obviously health is a big concern. And when they get everybody healthy and play, they got, a lot of talent there. Obviously, they got draft choices coming from the Lakers, and there's a lot of flexibility there. So, I felt like yeah, it's going to be a good basketball team, but they made the decision, and you just have to live with it.
Yeah, man. Look, it sucks to get fired. I wonder if he was honestly surprised or not. The Gentry era, I do feel from a bit, Jordy. He had some terrible breaks along the way, right? Like if you look at the context of each individual season, there's a lot of bad breaks, a lot of understandable excuses, but unfortunately for Gentry, at a certain point, when the volume of the results gets so large, the context no longer matters, right? So when you end this year in the disappointing fashion you did, and you've had 4 or 5 losing seasons, 4 or 5 years not making the playoffs, it's just, and you got all this young talent, it's just the time for a change was now. Wish Gentry nothing but the best in the future.
NBA playoffs from Tuesday night. The Miami Heat beat the Indiana Pacers 113-101. Jimmy Butler had 28 points for the Heat. The Houston Rockets beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 123-108. James Harden had 38 and 11.
I mean, no Russ, no problem. What do you think about the Houston Rockets style of basketball they figured out this year? To me, I don't like it from a viewer standpoint, but it is kind of fascinating because it is just the ultimate realization of what Golden State started. I mean, they just stand 5 guys around the three-point line and let one guy drive, and then he either dishes or he lays it up, and then everybody on the perimeter just shoots. They don't even have any tall players out there. And like I said, I think I don't like it. I don't like it, but it's kind of impressive in its gimmickness.
Excluding Harden, and they play defense.
And they do play good, yeah.
It's a very
defensive side of the ball.
It's a team that kind of leaves you scratching your head when you watch them play on their overall effectiveness in the NBA because you just don't see that formula a lot.
You got Macklemore and Tucker hitting 3. I mean, it's just, yeah. I don't know if I like it from a viewing standpoint, but it has been deadly effective thus far.
LeBron James had a triple-double last night, 23-17, and a career-high assist, 16 in the playoffs last night, but it wasn't enough. Portland beat the Lakers 100-93. Anthony Davis had 21 points in the first half. He finished with 28 overall for the night, and the shocker of night 2 from the bubble was Orlando, who handled Milwaukee in game 1.
Where's Trey Honore?
122-110, despite a night and a line for Giannis. 31-17 last night for Antetokounmpo. As last night Milwaukee, they never got in it. It never felt like it was close.
First off, shout out to Hammer. He's an old sales guy here.
How about Doug Hogan?
I forgot about Doug. But isn't Doug is Hammer from Orlando? I never understood Hammer's Orlando obsession.
Me either.
He's a bad
He's never lived in Orlando. Yeah. Doug spent some time in Orlando as a salesman.
Yeah,
so that makes a little sense.
That's what I'm saying. But Hammer was obsessed.
I think he fell in love with a Shaq.
Every day I would walk by Hammer's desk and he would be talking to me about the Magic, and I'm like, dude, this team that you fought, like, what are you doing? You're committing some and look at him now.
If nothing else, it's a great testament of Hammer's loyalty because I believe he began following the Orlando Magic when they drafted in successive years Stanley Roberts, Shaquille O'Neal, and Gert Hammock.
Hey, hell yeah, dude.
3 straight years at LSU Center in the first round for the Magic. I believe that was 91, 92, and 93.
Either way, though, shout out to that dude. Vucevic is a problem. The Bucks could not handle him. As far as the Lakers go, look, Anthony Davis dropped 28, but it's still it's not the 28 that you need. He doesn't take over the game. He didn't create for himself last night. I actually read a stat. He did not have, well, he had maybe one that you could argue was he did not have a single make that didn't come off an assist. So he needs to take over more a la Dame Lillard, dude. Lillard continues to be clutch. Probably my favorite part. We talked yesterday about how Lillard's lack of size and all these other things have made him evolve in interesting ways. Like he just shoots from the half-court line. There's one play late where Melo hits a huge 3 to go up 6. Lillard's coming off a pick at the logo, and LeBron and AD double-team him.
They better.
Off the pick. And then he feeds a wide-open Melo who's in front of him. to hit the three to go up 6.
See, that's the deal when you look at the Lakers. We'll talk a little bit more about this, is that AD and LeBron got to be on every night.
Yeah.
For Lillard's standpoint, like for the way that he's been playing, it was kind of a down night for him last night, but guys picked up the slack around him. That's why Portland's a problem.
Well, there's a stat just now up on Get Up where in the last 7 minutes, Portland scored 19, and Lillard only scored 6. Like, he set up a lot of stuff, made a lot of big plays. But
it looks like McCollum's getting back.
No, top to bottom, there's a real argument to be made that Portland is better, even with the transcendent AD LeBron combo, just from a talent standpoint. The Magic cannot say that with the Bucks, which is why their win is much more shocking. I can't help, though, think the Magic game. What was the Bulls series with MJ back in the day? I think they went over in Last Dance. Didn't they lose a game 1, and it was really shocking, and they came back and just rolled through them the next 4?
It was Charlotte.
Yes.
B.J. Armstrong.
Yes, and he was
so
talking trash.
So he's sitting in the locker room with the bat, and they're asking him, aren't you pissed about what B.J. said? No, I'm not mad.
Yes, okay.
I'm not mad. Maybe the best part of
with
the Last Dance.
With the cigar in his mouth.
So
that was some alpha stuff. I expect Giannis Antetokounmpo to have his own cigar and bat in his mouth. I don't think he's sweating the Magic. Yeah. This was just a little wake-up call. I think the Bucks sweep him here on out.
Today, Brooklyn and Toronto crank it up at 12:30. Utah and Denver, Game 2. Philly and Boston this afternoon at 5:30. And tonight, Dallas and the Los Angeles Clippers. Some images of Burrow yesterday coming out in full pads from Cincinnati.
I think my brain's just broken. I have like a Pavlovian dog response. I just start to salivate and get excited when I see pictures of Joe Burrow in a football uniform.
He's got the LSU bracelet still on. OTB on a Wednesday. It's so good. We're going to talk to Mike Triplett at the top of the second hour today. ESPN's.com's New Orleans Saints reporter will stop by here at 8 a.m. We'll talk to Roman Harper from the SEC Network. Man, headlines have gone really long this morning. We'll be back with more OTB.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brought to you daily by Donaldsonville Glass and Body, DGBauto.com. Remember, if you're looking for work right now, this is a great spot to be employed, as Donaldsonville Glass and Body right now looking for a couple of service technicians that they can offer 401k. They can offer paid vacations and holidays. Online, DGBauto.com. Get in touch with Kenny Frederick Jr. this morning. They also offer 24-hour towing. So if you've been in an accident or a collision, they can get you to the shop, make the repair, and then get it back to you. Customer service is what they practice and preach every single day. Online, DGBauto.com.
Donaldsonville, glassandbody.com. You can go check them out on Facebook at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are the best car shop. Like, when you go and deal with them, you're going to see that you never really want to go anywhere else, and it's worth the trip to Donaldsonville simply because of the customer service, the fact that you can trust them. They're not trying to cheat you. They're not trying to get one over you. The quality of the work is spectacular as well. Inspection stickers, collision repair, and everything in between. DonaldsonvilleGlassandBody.com.
Off the Bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I build a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. Russ Mitchell reacts to the SEC schedule, and the Saints are back on the practice field. We'll have a practice report. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Mike Triplett coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll talk New Orleans Saints football with him. A report last night coming late off of Facebook, and I'm getting this from, this is being piggybacked on Outkick the Coverage, as there is a report that 6 Big Ten teams would play a 10-game season under a new proposal. And I'm reading this straight from the site. Ohio State reporter insider Jeff Snook wrote on Facebook late Tuesday night explaining what is allegedly going on behind the scenes to make a Big Ten season work. And it is a plan being pieced together by Ohio State athletic director Gene Smith that would include 6 Big Ten teams. They are Ohio State, Penn State, Nebraska, Iowa, and possibly Wisconsin, along with Michigan. According to Snook's source, the plan needs to be 6 schools to work. There are reports that Ohio State players are going to Chicago with their parents to meet with Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren. It seems like this thing is starting to move. You compared it on Monday to turning a ship. Yeah. As far as trying to reverse
like a
this
giant
position.
ship, like a cruise ship.
Yeah, it looks like the
aircraft.
The bow was starting to turn. I mean, it looks like they may try to pull this thing off.
Wait, so did you forget about yacht?
Sir Yacht?
It's all about yacht, okay? Yacht time, baby. That's right.
So Sir Yacht and Jeff Snook are the two reporters for the Big Ten.
And to be clear, Sir Yacht is just a college kid who describes himself as a sports ranter. Jeff Snook is, we talked about him yesterday. He is a Ohio State journalism grad who has written over 14 nonfiction books. So he's not like, they're coming from different standpoints of credibility, but
they got the same story.
And Yacht has had this first consistently throughout the process. Look, man, I don't know. All I'm saying, as Sir Yacht says, his reputation's on the line. He's out there dangling in the winds, and the only thing he asks for is a little time to let this all play out. And it looks like the Big Ten may be asking for some time as well, dude. There's a little juice here. And I also want to fight against this notion that I heard Greg McElroy espouse yesterday, and that was like, they asked him on SportsCenter, hey, so can the Big Ten change course now at this point? And his answer was absolutely not, because that would be showing weakness. I think that is such a odd machismo, like what is that answer? It doesn't make any sense to me. I understand that, like, if you think that it shows maybe that you're like waffling or
it just shows that you would
indecisiveness.
have jumped the gun. You made a decision too early.
Well, all it is like you just spin it. You just spin it and say, well, look, when we made this decision, the medical advice was this. Now there's this new saliva testing that's been FDA approved, and that's got this great approval rate. It's a $4 test compared to $100. The cost of barriers down. We can get it for our community. And there's so many easy ways to open it back up. And then it'll be a public relations win for you. Yes, you will catch some heat from the same people that would have given you heat for playing football anyway. But as Kevin Warren figured out, that may actually be the minority in his region, at least, compared to the people that want football to happen. And so people would applaud it as such that, no, you can spin this into a leadership win. You spin this by saying, you avoided the sunken cost fallacy, right? Maybe you made the wrong decision, and instead of doubling down on it, you recognize, okay, you know what? We actually need to change course again. And yeah, maybe you get slight criticisms there for indecisive, whatever, but that feels potentially like the lesser of two evils. It just in terms of public relations and what Kevin Warren's dealing with right now from his decision to cancel football.
So this is the latest report from last night, as it comes from Jeff Snook, who posted on Facebook, Ohio State reporter and insider, that the Big Ten season may not be dead, as a plan is being pieced together by Buckeye Athletics Director Gene Smith that would include 6 Big Ten teams: Ohio State, Penn State, Nebraska, Iowa, possibly Wisconsin and Michigan, coming together to play a 10-game regular season schedule. We'll see what happens here, as this news, just like everything over the last month, has been ever so fluid. I mean, it's just it is changing right in front of your eyes. You can see the news cycle moving. In fact, everybody who makes decisions, that's why Kevin Warren, in my opinion, is being criticized like he is, because it seemed like he...
Well, did you see the other Snook report? Snook is also the source, the main source on the story that in the president's meetings where no vote was reportedly heard, that a lot of presidents wanted to postpone till September, and that Warren was actively lobbying against that, saying, no, we must push to spring.
Have we come out with what the advantage is for Warren to delay it? I mean, other than the medical risks that they would be taking with the student athletes?
Yeah, I do want to highlight that too, because I feel like I sound a bit callous because we are completely ignoring, I'm approaching this from a very PR standpoint. Other than that, which that is a factor. He was absolutely worried about health and the reports, everything.
And I think that's something that everybody would support in hearing. But after seeing other examples of whether it be the timetable being pushed back, or whether, like we talked to Verge on Monday, leaders showing patience in such the line of a big decision.
Is Catherine O'Neill the Our Lady of the Lake doctor? Am I screwing up my names here?
No, she's the infectious disease doctor that is not only consulting LSU, but she's now the voice of the SEC.
Yes, and so that's what else has come out, right? You had doctors that got on Warren's ear and said, we don't think it's safe to play, and now you have other doctors that are saying, we actually do think that you can play. But I think if I had to guess, outside looking in, why Warren made this decision so proactively, he's new on the job. I think he's thinking about nightmare scenarios, which makes a lot of sense. If something does go very poorly and it's on your watch, ultimately you'll be left holding the bag. You'll be accountable. And look, a lot of times, what is leadership? Leadership is making the hard decisions, right? But unfortunately for leaders, and here's the rub, they don't get the benefit of hindsight, right? So they don't get to know whether or not they're making the right decision at the time. And there's an argument to be made that he thought, okay, look, we're going to be proactive. We're going to show leadership. We're not going to be reactive. Because remember, there's a contingent of people that have been, and I think I even maybe fell into this trap early on before changing my own opinion as I watched it play out, but that criticized Sankey for kind of saying nothing and just kicking the can down the road, right? And so I think Warren tried to go the opposite direction. And again, now you have the benefit of hindsight, and it looks like maybe Warren bit off a little more than he could chew.
Well, I fell into the trap of, criticizing Sankey by saying this is typical Sankey. He's nowhere to be found. You don't hear him. It's a big issue. He's stepping away from the microphone. Where's the leadership? When in fact, a couple of weeks later, in evaluating the leadership, it seems like it's been really good because of the patience that he's shown.
Does all this not highlight how tough it is to be in those big decision-making points? Because as we talked about this in the Hold That podcast yesterday, this is a high-stakes game. If you just want to approach it from like a non-human game theory standpoint, just purely cynical, results matter. This is a high-stakes game. And you're either throwing your lot in with playing or not playing, and both could go awry. Like, there's no right answer from where we sit now. And ultimately, though, if you are these people, you will be judged as to whether or not your decision ends up being the correct one. And so it's been fascinating to watch. But like I said, I think the saliva testing is something to highlight that is just massive, not just for sports, but for businesses, for society as a whole. For a test to go from costing $100 to manufacture to $4, 20 times less. The cost barrier to entry that lowers in terms of getting the testing that you need to prevent outbreaks both in your business and your football. It cannot be overstated, even for smaller schools, right? That's why a lot of these smaller schools shut down. They couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
LSU can. A lot of other places can't. Well, now we're moving into an area where, in the future, maybe they could if this thing sticks around, however it plays out. So Sankey set back, and he relied on human innovation to get him out of it. And it's a fascinating thing when you have all the smartest minds committed to a singular purpose. How fast can you accelerate that innovation? And you're seeing that real time here in 2020.
Has anybody heard from Larry Scott? I mean, does the Pac-12 even exist right now? I mean, like, where are they on August 19th?
Nothing to see here.
I mean,
nothing to see here, guys.
Now, if that doesn't ultimately, though, highlight a couple of things. First off, it highlights what we talked about. The Pac-12 never really seemed set on playing this season anyway. I think it also just highlights the geographical and political pressures that come from what region of the country you are playing in. Yeah. Obviously, we're on the far opposite side of the spectrum here, and then you see the Big Ten, they're like mixed. Like they're a mixed bag. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have like half that's like, no, this is crazy. Y'all are crazy. They're more of the Pac-12 opinion, and then half that are like, no, we really want football, even with the risks. We deem those risks to be acceptable, and they're more in line with the SEC's thinking. It's kind of college football, and its mirroring of the country's athletics geographically is kind of fascinating.
It is fascinating to think about when you just look at the breakdown of who's in, who's out, and kind of the decisions behind them. All right, Mike Triplett coming up in 30 minutes. Would you rather? We need some scenarios. Get them inside of the YouTube.
Are we? I mean, we'll take.
Are you just going straight Reddit?
No. We will.
All right.
I'm going to be.
I don't want to cut them off because they may have good.
No, I want them to come in, but I'm only taking the good ones. It's not a guarantee we're going to get on air.
There you go. Pressure's on. Get inside of the YouTube chat app there and paint your would you rather scenario. If it's good enough, we will describe it at 8:15 this morning. Come back off the bench, powered every day by All Star Toyota.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
All Star Toyota is located on the corner of Goodwood and Airline right here in the capital city, where they've been since 2005. You can shop all the inventory online if you need to. Stop in and see Tommy Wagaspack over at the service department. Saw my guy yesterday. Had the Toyota National guy in town. Wagaspack was taking him to lunch over there. Go see Tommy and his crew if you need service today. Remember, you don't have to be a part of the All-Star family to experience that great service department over at All-Star Toyota. If you need service on your car, just whip in right there from Goodwood. Easy entry point there on Goodwood and Goodwood and Airline. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. I just got my new Toyota Sienna from there, and I couldn't be happier to join the All-Star family, man. I love this Sienna. But maybe you want a new 2020 Tundra, $4,500 cash back. Maybe you're not looking for new. Right, you want used, Toyota certified used vehicles. You get warranties and other things you only get with new vehicles because their quality's unmatched. All-Star Toyota.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, We've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working.
It's a Wednesday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. The guys are live from Snow's Seafood and Steak over in Gonzales. Come out from 6 to 8 p.m. and say hello or listen here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There's 1,000 feet to 1942. When I'm high in the sky, girl, all I see is you. We're miles from
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Shout out to my guy, Serge Villanova, over at Stranded South Music, strandedsouth.com. Local artist, graduate of LSU. Got a studio over in Texas. Send in the MP3. We always appreciate it. Remember, local artists, get them in. Jordy at 1045ESPN.com. You can email into the show as Musso and I are going through the local sounds and get them across here on Off the Bench up until 10 a.m. every day, powered by All-Star Toyota. Good to see Lee Carney and Nick Richard from All-Star yesterday over at lunch. Remember, you can be a part of the All-Star family at allstarautomotive.com. Over and unders were published for SEC teams as far as win totals go for the upcoming season. Schedules were announced earlier this week. Then from there, you're starting to see some of the gambling odds coming out. And then you get a total of number of wins for SEC teams, and LSU's sits at 6.5. T according to the latest sports book that published the win totals. LSU sitting at 6.5. Alabama's got the most wins as far as the over and under is concerned going into the season at 7.5. Georgia has 7. Florida has 7. And then the line moves a half a point with LSU and Texas A&M sitting at 6.5 wins. How do you feel about it?
I think that there's a few interesting things to point out here. First off, we've talked a lot about how a 10-game SEC-only schedule changes expectations overall, right? We have tried to find the line of what is an acceptable record in this new schedule because you're not playing 12. You don't have these kind of pointless cupcake type of games. And so what I did is I went and looked up last year's over-under totals, and you compare them to this year, and I think actually a clear cutoff line starts to emerge, Jordy. And so you look this year, Alabama leading the way at 7.5 on their over-under. Georgia second at 7, tied with Florida, and then LSU coming in right at them at 6.5. Very similar to last year, where you had Bama with an over-under of 11 wins. You had UGA with an over-under of 10.5, and then you had LSU with an over-under of 9. So when I look at this list, what I think this is telling me is that elite team cutoff, if you want to be in that SEC championship competition or, be right there in the mix through the end, you're going to have to carry an 8-2 record. Now, I still think somebody probably goes 9-1. I don't know that I think anybody goes 10-0, but, after last year with LSU, who knows? It's certainly a possibility somebody pulls that off. But that said, if you are a fan, and we play this game all the time, and you're like, okay, what's the acceptable bar for LSU? The unquestioned success, in my opinion, would be hitting 8-2 in that 10-game regular season. And granted, people may hold LSU to a higher standard now. I don't know. That said, I would say smash the over here.
Crush the over.
7 wins?
I had to double take when I saw it.
7 wins hits?
6.5?
That's what I'm saying.
It feels like a steal. It feels like a steal.
Usually
when it feels like that, it backfires on you and you got to pay up. But this feels like, it looks like a sucker bet on paper, right? But last week when the coaches put them in the top 5, I was throwing so many bouquets of respect towards them because of that class doing their homework, because I feel like LSU is a top 5 team. I feel like they are a contender. And when I look at their schedule, I go down the schedule. I'm trying to pick out where the wins and losses are.
It feels more like a steal when you see the schedule now.
That's the thing. LSU, and again, me and Brody broke this down at length on the pod yesterday. LSU got the easiest schedule, or the best schedule in the SEC. Maybe not the easiest overall because they play in the West versus the East, but in terms of opponents added, in terms of the flow of the schedule,
absolutely,
in terms of where the bye is, the home and away, they have the most favorable schedule. And so, where are the losses? Where's the 4 losses?
I agree. Somebody knock my purple and gold glasses off as I go down this schedule and I tell you how I feel. Tell me if you feel differently. Speak up, please. Mississippi State I got as a W.
That's a win.
I'd take the 26 right now. Vanderbilt is a win in Nashville in week 2. Missouri back in Baton Rouge in week 3 feels like a win.
Yeah.
Florida on the road is a swing game.
Let's just say it's a loss. Just say it's a loss.
Loss. South Carolina back at home, you win. On the road at Auburn, swing game. I say Auburn is going to be a pick'em. That feels like it's going to be a pick'em game.
I think it's better that they're catching them there instead of where they were previously scheduled.
Absolutely.
Right before A&M.
When T-Bob laid out that LSU was scheduled winners, I looked at the first thing I saw was the Auburn game moved up from late in the season to where it was originally scheduled to back kind of up at the top of the schedule. Even though it's late October, you're still playing them fairly earlier than you were, as originally scheduled. Alabama at home. Okay.
Say it's a loss. Just say it's a loss. For the purposes of this conversation, we're not trying to think if we actually think that LSU will win or not. We are trying to find 7 guaranteed wins.
Did you have W or L next to Auburn?
I think it comes down to Auburn A&M. If you beat one of those 2 teams, you go to 7 wins.
Okay, so you got Auburn, Alabama back-to-back. Let's just call one of them a loss.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so one of them's a loss. Arkansas at home, you win. At Texas A&M on the road.
That's a swing game.
And
then you beat Ole Miss. So
just because of the disrespect I have for A&M and the respect I have for LSU, I'm putting it as a W. It's going to be a tough game. Ole Miss back at home to close out the season.
Well, then you're golden. Then you've already reached 7. If you put A&M there, you already got 7. Yeah, you have 6 for sure wins, it looks like, and then it comes down to Florida, Alabama, A&M, and Auburn. A&M and Auburn at the bottom of that list. You beat one of A&M and Auburn, and you will cash that 7-game win total. So, I'll put money on it. If I can ever get online betting sites to not make me buy Bitcoin, I will put money on it.
I don't know, man. Invest. The dollar's going down.
What? Invest in Bitcoin. Yeah, the invest in Bitcoin thing's been happening for 10, 15 years now. I think
my investment guy told me, when it pops, it's going to be huge, man. You got to buy now. Buy now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Capacity in the stadium, you think they make an announcement on that in the next couple of days?
Alabama did.
Yeah, I saw that.
Alabama came out and said 20% capacity. The SEC, I believe, mandated masks. I think Alabama said that too. Alabama also said no tailgating. So I think as far as a rangefinder for where LSU may be at, that's something important to look at. The SEC, though, is not mandating their own tailgate or crowd restrictions. They are saying that is up to the schools. And then ultimately, it seems like how many people are allowed in the stadium will be decided by where the community is at currently as far as the COVID numbers are.
So like the phases.
Yeah, I would think so. Now, I don't know like who makes that decision, right? Is it a politician? Is it, I would imagine it's somebody in the school, but, or like, I don't know if there's an exact equation where, okay, if per capita, this is your infection rate, then this is how many people you're allowed to have in there. But it does seem like those things are tied together.
We will close out hour one next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by the Lanois, Lanoix agency.com. Get in touch with the boys today about auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance, flood insurance, whatever you're looking for. They can help you out this morning. Online, Lanoix agency.com. It's Randy, Brian, and David all standing by. Randy started the Lanois Insurance Agency, passed it on to the boys, BG and David, who are carrying on the tradition and reputation. Online, Lanoix agency.com.
LanoisAgency.com, LanoisAgency.com. Go there for all of your insurance needs. Home, auto, small business owner. They do it. You need flood insurance, even if you're not in a flood zone. When you close in your house, maybe you had to get flood insurance. Maybe you just want it for peace of mind. That's what I did. And they got me max coverage at a great rate, so I never have to be concerned when storms come rolling in. If you don't have that, get that. Also get the customer service that comes with Lanois. Actively working to save you money without you lifting a finger. They saved me hundreds earlier this year. I didn't do anything. Go to LanoisAgency.com, LanoisAgency.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
This is a house call. This is a test result. This is a prescription refill. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. Start your virtual visit today at Auctioner Health.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust.
Yo, join us for a Wednesday edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny presented by Richard Tonda. We're going to welcome on Luke Johnson of the New Orleans Advocate to talk about the New Orleans Saints training camp and more on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Joey Burrow up to BDJ things as our guy Ben Baby, who covers the Cincinnati Bengals for ESPN. If you want to keep up with Burrow, make sure and follow Baby on Twitter he is at Ben_Baby, who covers the Cincinnati Bengals. Some interesting quotes coming out from Burrow earlier this week, and this is why I've got a huge man crush on Burrow and miss him so much down here in this part of the world. He was asked earlier this week on whether or not he's nervous going into his first NFL game, as he has been tabbed the starter since day one. Burrow was quoted in saying, "You ever heard of anything else about me being nervous?"
Well, even better. First, he was asked the question. First, he laughed. Then he said, "Absolutely not. Have you ever heard anything else about me being nervous?" I mean, unequivocally, absolutely not nervous about going to the NFL and being a starter week one in a pandemic-shortened preseason where he won't even have like a preseason series with the ones before he has to do it when it actually matters. That is BD energy right there. That is BDJ.
Went on to say, "I think we're going to be good on offense. I'm excited more than nervous, I would say." He was also asked about
like
his
LSU last year.
He was also asked about his relationship with his offensive line team. When I saw this answer, I thought immediately about you, obviously. But when he was asked about his relationship with his offensive line, he said, "Those guys have to be my best friends. I have to make them happy so they will fight for me." Said his offensive line should be expecting some nice Christmas gifts.
Yeah, that's what you do, man. Back in the day when the N64 had just come out, my old man was playing in Atlanta, and I believe he bought what was really hard to get. He got 13 N64s, all for the O-linemen, their families. You hear about people buying watches. I think, did Lamar Jackson buy everybody Rolexes last year, the O-line? I believe he did, because then some terrible stick-in-the-mud human being came out and was like, that money could have been better spent in other philanthropical ways.
Oh.
And look, I get it, but Lamar Jackson does that as well, okay? He's just trying to honor his big boys, give him a Rolex for keeping him safe and getting him an MVP. Yes, you have to. Look, man, you rely on those guys to protect you. You having a strong relationship is not necessarily a must, but it helps. You want to go for the extra mile. Like, if you're an O-lineman and you see Joe Burrow get his ass lit up on the sideline, take one under the chin, and then he pops up and he takes it, or you see him lower his shoulder to get a first down instead of going out of bounds, or you see him fight. There's that famous story about him getting the fight at practice, right? That's the type of stuff that makes you want to fight harder for that guy, because you know he's tough. You know he's laying it out there all in line, and you want to as well. And if you don't, I mean, bad things can happen sometimes. I remember I never did this on any higher level, but in Little League, I remember my quarterback yelled at me and pissed me off one time, and I snapped the ball and just let the guy go by me. Yeah,
did you really? Did he get crushed?
Yeah, he got crushed. He got sacked. I just snapped it and let him go. And I've heard I joke, but I mean, I've heard about stuff like that in the NFL. Now, maybe those are more old school stories. Maybe it's not done as much anymore. But yeah, you want to have a solid relationship with those guys.
So stick around. Hour 2, we're going to lead you off with
how mad would you be at your flag center if he did that?
Oh, he's cut. He's cut immediately. Big scrimmage and flag this afternoon.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the other dad neighbors, and it seems like you have quite the reputation in the flag community.
Oh yeah,
as just being like recruiting, hardcore, assembling a team, coaching, just going the extra mile to get the flag trophy.
Told you, boys, third year's a big year.
Yeah, third
monumental year. Promised a national championship in year 3. Saban brought one to Baton Rouge in year 3.
Yep.
Pressure's on. What year did Sean Payton win the Super Bowl in New Orleans? Was it year 3?
Les Miles was year 3 too, actually, huh? How about that? 05, 06, 03.
That was Saban's roster.
Yeah, but he still won it in year 3. Yeah.
Peyton was technically year 4, 09, because he came in 06, 07, 08, and then 09. So technically year 4.
Yeah,
bust.
Yeah, bust, exactly.
Bust. All right, well, that's good to hear. I like that.
You got
that.
There's a little juice. There's a little juice on the flag scene.
I love that.
I heard. I think there was a scrimmage set up back in the day between y'all, but then something might have canceled it or something. I don't know. The flag. I'm not ready for youth sports and the drama around the edges between parents and everything. I feel like it can get kind of intense at times.
You got a name? Who's yapping?
It was the DeSalle crew.
Oh, Leo and the crew. We'll be in touch. Stick around.
Did y'all have like a Sandlot scrimmage scheduled at one point? Yes, that's what it was.
We got rained out.
But y'all were gonna do it straight up like Sandlot, like find an empty lot, let's get the boys together.
We were doing it at the school across the street from my house.
Iron sharpens iron.
I got a field right here. You do a little home and home?
Exactly.
We'll come to the neighborhood next week.
I kind of love that. It's like a great old school type of feel to that.
Yeah. Pull up, socks up, bike shorts on, tucked in.
My old man tells a story about in cutoff. I don't think they had like a codified Pop Warner league, or maybe he was just too young for it, but they used to roll around in like some parents' truck bed, and they would all have pads on. I can't remember what they called themselves. They had a mascot. But yeah, they would just roll around and play other local, like,
looking for
hard
pickup
Scrabble.
games.
Yeah, pickup type of game.
I get it. Boys in the back of the truck. Hour 2, stick around. Would you rather? A couple of good ones coming in. Would you rather scenarios inside of the YouTube Watch app. We'll also get some off of Reddit for our 8:15 segment. We'll talk New Orleans Saints coming up here in 4 minutes with Mike Triplett of ESPN.com, who's stopping by.
Look at Get Up right now. They just did an entire section debating Joe Burrow's confidence and whether or not it's warranted. We've seen it firsthand. We know what Captain America can do.
Hour 2, stick around with us. All-Star Toyota driving us through 10 a.m. this morning. We'll talk to Roman Harper of the SEC Network at 8:30 and Mike Triplett talking NFL and Saints here in a couple of minutes.
Off the bench with Colada and T-Bob.
Paul Pollard inside the YouTube Watch app. Dickie V is reporting violations coming down any day on Jordy's flag football team.
I mean, any day. The NOA's coming.
Daily, we're brought to you here by Ochsner. Remember, over at Ochsner, their sports medicine program is the best in the business. Our guy, Dr. Jeremy Burnham, is heading it up here in Baton Rouge, but they got 3 locations. Baton Rouge is one, New Orleans over on Clearview Parkway, and then in Covington on the North Shore. Whether you're a professional athlete, a weekend warrior, a flag football player, anybody that needs to get back out on the field, Ochsner Sports Medicine Institute has what you need to get you back in the game as quickly as possible.
Okay, so if any of the kids or you or anybody else gets hurt, Ochsner's got you. But Jordy, it's time to take things to the next level. Ochsner Performance Training. You want these 7-year-olds to get bigger, stronger, faster? You want to maximize their potential? No joke, Ochsner is the answer, dude. They give you professional level training. They look at your gait. They look at everything to make sure that you're the best that you could be. Go to Ochsner.org.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Ochsner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Wednesday, August 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 90. In case you missed hour one of the show, you can catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Still to come on Off the Bench, ESPN's Mike Triplett stops by next. We have the latest edition of Would You Rather Wednesday. The SEC Network's Roman Harper joins the show at 8:30. You can follow today's show on Twitter and Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch us live on YouTube at 1045 ESPN channel. Make sure to subscribe. Get over to the Off the Bench channel. Set your notifications. Subscribe there as well. New content is posted daily. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off and at it off the bench, second hour, OTB, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. We're online at 1045ESPN.com. We're on your smart speakers this morning. We're also on YouTube. Remember, hit us on YouTube. We're on the 1045 ESPN station. Make sure everybody is subscribed and notified for anything that's happened there. All of the highlights, like yesterday's Coach Ed Orgeron interview, our rant on Dick Vitale, Sir Yacht, breaking down the latest in the Big Ten news. All can be on the Off the Bench page. Remember, search it there. Make sure and get notified for any of the content that's populated. All of our sound here on Off the Bench is brought to you by Carriages. Carriages of Baton Rouge. Been around since 1982 in the capital city. Voted best in clothing, male clothing, by you, the community. Stop in and see them online, carriagesbr.com. Get on them on Facebook and Instagram. Great follows there, carriagesbr.com. All right, New Orleans Saints back on the field today after a day off. Some big news yesterday on the offensive line is Andrus Peat going to be out the next 2 to 3 weeks dealing with a broken thumb. He was out on Monday's practice, and Nick Easton was getting a bulk of the reps there, but here to help us out on all of the Saints coverage, which you can follow over at ESPN.com, as he is the Saints insider for ESPN, is Mike Triplett, who is back with us here on OTB. Good morning, Mike. Thank you for your time.
Happy to join you guys. How you doing?
Doing good. When you heard the Pete news first, my first thought was he's a guy that has been that has battled injuries, especially over the past couple of months. What is the status of Pete after signing the big deal, 5-year, $57.5 million contract extension, and the latest on him getting back on the field?
Yeah, first of all, 2 to 3 weeks should not be a big deal. And if this were a normal training camp, it wouldn't be a big deal. But it's crazy to think that, a guy missing on the first day of practice is going to miss 2 weeks, and we've got a game in like 3.5 weeks. So that, that magnifies everything. But, if he's able to heal from that quickly, it should be smooth. If Nick Easton had to play a game or two in his place, he proved he could do that last year. look, there's going to be injuries that come up over these next few weeks, especially since these guys didn't have a traditional offseason. If this type of injury is the worst of it for the Saints, they'd be in good shape. But I also saw a lot of chatter on Twitter. Oh, here we go again. We knew this was going to happen with Pete. I think that's hard to say about a guy who's broken his arm and now broken his hand twice. I don't know that those are the kind of injuries that, mean you're injury prone or have a bulky knee that keeps acting up or a back injury that won't go away for years. It just seems like bad luck for the guy. But look, I know his inconsistent play has made him a target of fans. So he came in great shape, and one of these days, if he has one of those career seasons, maybe he'll finally turn around the narrative.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel bad for Pete because some of that inconsistent play, Mike, has been a consequence of playing through very tough injuries. Like, he also has played through broken arms in the past. So just a really poor break for Pete. But in terms of how they replace him, you mentioned Nick Easton. He's absolutely there. What about Ruiz? And the only reason I ask is that when Peyton was asked about the Ruiz-McCoy kind of rotation, it seemed like to me that they're almost set. And this is probably me reading into things too much, but like they're set on McCoy playing center and Ruiz focusing on that guard. Is that Pete competition now, Ruiz and Easton?
Well, no, I mean, because Ruiz was lined up at right guard, and that's where he would start. Ruiz is going to start for this team one way or another. They made that clear on draft day. They made that extra clear when they cut Larry Warford. So the only question is whether they move Ruiz to right guard. Yeah, so the only question is whether they move Ruiz to right guard, or McCoy at right guard. And I think originally their plan was probably for Ruiz to be a center and to move McCoy. But I think this, abbreviated offseason has to affect those plans. I mean, that is a lot to ask McCoy to change positions and to teach Ruiz how to, learn to play center for this offense. So we saw McCoy at center and Ruiz at right guard in that first practice. Now, Peyton did say he will rotate them. At the very least, they want to cross-train them. It's possible it's still an open competition. But, when we get our first eyes on the team and a game is 4 weeks away, it's hard not to think the most likely scenario is McCoy stays at center.
One of the other big questions that I have when I look at this offense, Mike, the weapons look so solid, especially with the addition of Emmanuel Sanders. But once in the wide receiver room specifically, before you get to like Kamara, Jared Cook, or anything, once you get past Mike Thomas and Sanders, who all is in the running for that wide receiver 3 position?
Well, look, Traquan Smith, that's his number 3 receiver is, he's probably got a pretty good hold on that job. He's got a lot to prove this year, though. He's got a lot to prove, but the coaches have still spoken highly of him. They pointed out that, they really thought he was going to do good things last year, and he suffered that ankle injury in week 2. And they also pointed out that because Ted Ginn Jr. was lined up outside, they moved Traquan Smith inside, which is not his natural position. Now they can flip-flop that back because Emmanuel Sanders can play inside. So this is, the jury is still completely out on Traquan Smith. If he doesn't deliver this year, I think it might be time to move on. He's a guy that somebody else, one of these young receivers, could potentially beat out. But he's going to have every opportunity to finally, show that, he's learned 3 years into this offense and that, he's still got time to do something. However, you mentioned the other guys, Jared Cook, Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray. They drafted Adam Troutman. Taysom Hill still catches passes. It's hard to expect a big year from Traquan Smith, barring injuries, just probably the few nice games splashed here and there that we've seen in the past.
We talked Ruiz with T-Bob's question, and you just brought up Troutman. How about the other guys in the rookie class? Has Zach Braun or Tommy Stevens done anything that would stand out?
Yeah, well, look, Vaughn, he was one of the big question marks when we saw him on the field. A, where he's going to line up, and B, will it be with the starters or the backups? And sure enough, we saw him out there with the ones, consistently on the first day of practice. Now, he was the Sam linebacker, and they were playing a lot of base defense. When they dropped down to their nickel, which they play pretty much 80% of the time, they're only going to have 2 linebackers on the field. But we saw him in space. We saw him lining up to rush the passer. I think he's getting an early audition because Kiko Alonso is still hurt, and Nigel Bradham just showed up last week. So that's still a big competition there. But they threw him into the fire and said some nice things about how he looked early. So it'll be interesting to see who that number 2 linebacker is that plays all the time next to Mario Davis, whether that's Anzalone, whether that's Bradham, whether that's Vaughn. But, so far he's getting a chance to show what he's got in this condensed window here.
Does Stevens have a place on the 53? I know it's early.
They said that he worked out with the quarterbacks in the first week, but then they quickly moved him to tight end, and he was working with the tight ends when we were out there. And obviously special teams, those will be his ways he can get on the field in year one. It feels to me like this would be a redshirt season for him. He gets on the 53-man roster, but he's not active on game days unless he proves that he can be the kind of asset Taysom Hill was as an undrafted rookie. So he's still fighting for a roster spot, but I'd have to think they'd like to hang on to him and develop him for the future, considering, what they invested to get him or how important it was for them to get him.
Talking to Mike Triplett here on Off the Bench. He covers the Saints for ESPN, does an excellent job. Mike, when I look at this defense, I see a Saints defense that I think is probably going to end up top 10 in the league. I think they could push top 5. I think it'll all come down to Rankins and Marcus Davenport, opposite of Cam Jordan, right? What can they do? And you've written about that. So, I mean, you put me on that. What kind of form do these two look like? What form are they in right now?
Well, so far so good. I mean, they're moving around well, look healthy in the first practice. They've got to stay healthy, though. That's the only question mark with those two guys. I thought Sheldon Rankins looked like a rising star 2 years ago. Easily could have made the Pro Bowl and looked like a guy who was going to make several in the future. And then obviously had the injury setback again last year. And Davenport too. Davenport has also battled some inconsistency. He's had some lulls, but the injury that landed him on IR at the end of last season really kind of stunted what looked like a positive year for him. So I'm a little worried about the depth when it comes to their pass rush. But if those two guys stay healthy and flash the potential we've seen, then we are talking about the kind of defense that the ceiling that you mentioned.
Well, and also if you're going to hit that ceiling, cornerback play, like everything else, for everybody in the NFL, that goes a long way.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Jackrabbit here in year number 2, Janoris Jenkins teaming up with Marshawn Lattimore?
Well, it's funny. I mean, he almost, we talk about newcomers all the time. They added Emmanuel Sanders. They added Malcolm Jenkins. They added Zach Bowen and Cesar Ruiz. I mean, you almost have to consider Janoris Jenkins a newcomer, too, because he came so late last year and he only appeared in a couple games. I mean, based on his pedigree and based on the fact that the Saints obviously liked what they saw enough to let Eli Apple go and give that job and extend Jenkins' contract, you have to consider him an upgrade at that position, which was already, a pretty strong position for them in the last few years. And then, the other guys can play nickel, P.J. Williams and Patrick Robinson. We already saw P.J. Williams making some plays on the first day of practice. So, again, everything is, barring injuries, but they've got really good depth with their top 6 guys in that secondary. If Lattimore and Jenkins are lined up outside, that's really promising.
A lot of love for Jameis early on, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they only had one set of full team drills, so we didn't get to see his performance necessarily. But yeah, I mean, the arm strength was impossible to miss. It looked like he was in really good shape. He's the guy out there smiling and high-fiving, and both Drew Brees and Sean Payton quickly pointed to how much they love his energy and his love for the game of football. So he's making positive early impressions. I mean, it is crazy to think that they signed him for so cheap. And I mean, this is a guy who, A, was the number 1 overall pick in the draft, and B, just threw for 5,000 yards last year. It's not like an undrafted rookie that they have out there with some potential.
Wait, Mike, you've been – sorry, How impressive was the arm strength thing? Just because I imagine all you Saints beat writers, look, Breeze is unbelievable, but his arm is not there, right? And you've been watching these Saints practices from years. Did Jameis's rocket just kind of jump off the page?
It really did, because it was effortless how far it went down the field. Now, I think the one of the farthest passes I saw him throw went about 5 yards over a receiver's head. So you still got to get your timing. You still got to get your timing down. You still got to learn. The receivers are going to have to learn it too. And those are hard passes to complete, obviously. But it made me think. I was like going through the Rolodex of backup quarterbacks they've had in the past. I'm like, have they ever had a guy that like even came in just for a summer who had a big arm? And it's going through I'm not sure I remember seeing it. I mean, certainly younger guys who could throw it. Taysom could throw it. Ryan Griffin could throw it. But Luke McCown, Mark Rudell, Chase Daniel. Like, I don't remember seeing a guy that could just stand back there and heave it with that little effort, unless I'm totally forgetting something.
Mike Triplett, he's on Twitter at Mike Triplett. Read his work at ESPN.com. He is the New Orleans Saints insider checking in with us this morning. Thank you, man. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Would You Rather Wednesday next.
Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Remember, over at Coy's Diesel, they have 24-hour roadside assistance. If you drive a light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck and you need some repairs done, or you're on the side of the road right now and you need help getting over to Coy's Diesel over on Airline Highway, all you got to do is log online, coysdiesel.com. A chat box will come up. You can get to sales to schedule a service call, or if you need that 24-hour roadside assistance. Everything is online at coysdiesel.com.
Yeah, if you actually go in and see them, they're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5 p.m. But remember, 24/7 emergency roadside assistance. They have 24-hour trucks that come to you. So you break down on the side of the road, they got your back. You need any diesel parts. I don't care if you have a Duramax, a Cummins, a Power Stroke. It doesn't matter. You can shop by part right there on the website. Year, make, model, drop-down menus. Find exactly what you need. Coy is spelled C-O-Y. coysdiesel.com. Diesel's right there in the name. coysdiesel.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger. If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who do.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. Russ Mitchell reacts to the SEC schedule, and the Saints are back on the practice field. We'll have a practice report. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Would you rather Wednesday here on Off the Bench? Did you see that?
Yes, dude. That officer is, and I don't know if he's a security officer or what his title is, but he's technically a peace officer in that stadium. That guy is pathetic. So for those that don't know the story, Masai Ujiri, I believe that's how you pronounce it. That's the Toronto Raptors president. And he was after they won the NBA Finals, he's the president of the Raptors. They win in Golden State. He's trying to get down on the court, and an altercation happened. Well, the peace officer in the altercation sued Ujiri. Do you have the article brought up? Can you bring it up? Because I really want to highlight. I think I have the link somewhere in here. I'm not sure, but I want to highlight exactly what the peace officer is trying to claim in court, because it is the saddest.
It's actually his wife.
Most pathetic. It's like the altercation gave me like lasting psychological. We'll get to it. It's really sad. It's just terrible, right? It's one of those classic, like, you have money, we got an altercation, I'm going to say that you essentially ruined my life so I can try to get some of that money. Well, problem is, buddy, your own body cam just betrayed your version of the story. You tried to say that Missouri walked up and hit you and that you were unprovoked. No, the president of the Raptors was reaching for his credential, trying to walk on the court, and he shoves him twice, telling him to get the F back. And now Ujiri is countersuing. So
the cop's name is Strickland, and I want to find it too, T, because it's unbelievable what he's alleging.
It's in the ESPN article that's in there. I mean, we can get into Would You Rather and circle back around to it. It just came up just now because there's a video of it on the TV and it spurred it. But yeah, it's one of those. He's a litigious punk, right? One of those people just trying to take advantage of the legal system and make a buck along the way. But it comes out looking really soft. All right, while you're looking, let's dive into some Would You Rather. You good?
Okay, which would you rather be?
Now, what superpower would you rather have? The question is, would you rather date the blind or the deaf?
Would you rather drown or be burned alive?
Would you rather be overpaid or underrated?
Rather you just said thank you and went on your way.
Strickland says he suffered injury to his body, health, strength, activity, and person, all of which have continued to cause the plaintiff great mental, emotional, psychological, physical, and nervous pain and suffering.
What? From a push? He tried to say all that from a shove. And then the worst part is Ujiri didn't even shove him. He shoved him after Ujiri did, but after Ujiri himself got shoved twice. How about this? Imagine being the Toronto Raptors president. Your vision, you, the architect, it's all finally come to fruition. You win the NBA Finals. You're going to the court, and some punk security guard shoves you and tells you to get the F back. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Also, get out of here with that mental anguish or whatever that is. Unbelievable. All right. Would you rather have all spiders that come near you disappear, or all mosquitoes that come near you disappear?
Mosquitoes. I mean, think about it.
I don't really come into contact with that many spiders.
That's right. Think how many mosquitoes you come into contact during a South Louisiana summer.
I just think that this is just me. I don't know why. I don't get bit by mosquitoes.
Holy cow.
Lucky you.
They do not mess with me, dude. My wife will be like getting torn up.
Superpower, bro.
I'll be in there in shorts, everything. Maybe my blood's just too fat. They're like, oh, God. I'm like, this is not healthy. I can't Can't eat that guy. But no, I don't. So I would actually take the spiders.
Probably going to Mexico. Mexico is like bad mosquitoes in summertime. Eat you up at night.
So no, everybody's on the mosquitoes.
I'm on mosquitoes. Yeah.
I would be. Somebody can probably look it up. I wonder how many human beings mosquitoes have killed throughout history through all their nastiness. Would you rather go to the International Space Station for one day, or a place of your choosing anywhere on Earth for an entire month?
Oh, anywhere on the earth entire month. I've got no. I really don't. I don't have that type of. It's not pulling me up. I mean, it just. I don't. You know what? Y'all go up there and tell me what you see.
I'm just scared.
I'll be in Bali for the next month.
I'm scared of the journey up there.
Yep.
But I take this question as, let's say there's no
Just
journey.
gonna get you there?
You're just there and
All
then
right.
you're back. So instant teleportation, no journey, no launch, no landing. Because that's the case. Yeah,
But
I'll
you know
take
what?
Bali
In
too.
that method, if you're taking away the travel around the world for me to go lay on an island all
Yes.
day naked,
Yeah.
you know what?
Even better.
I'm in.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean, I'm doing space station, dude.
For a
Because
day?
if that takes the scary part out of it. Do you know how badly my
Bro, you're back
nerdy-
to work on Friday. I'm back to work on September 19th.
I know, but do you know how badly my nerdy sci-fi ass has wanted to experience zero G? Like, I still want to do one of those planes where you go up and down and you float for like 30 seconds in between. Where you're like,
I'm actually going to take a month-long vacation.
Dude, I know you're with me, Dan.
I'm thinking space station.
Yeah.
What?
He's another sci-fi nerd. He
Hey,
gets it.
I mean, that's an
Tell you about the
incredible
boat drinks in
experience.
Tahiti, my
Yeah,
friend.
really.
Yeah, tell me about the boat drinks. I'm going to tell you what Tahiti looks like from space.
You can't see Tahiti from space. You're too far.
Well, you can see like
Nah, it
land.
doesn't
You can
count.
see land.
Doesn't count.
Might be able to see my white ass.
That could be Tahiti, maybe. I don't know.
Would you rather lose the ability to see or lose the other four senses? Smell, touch, taste. I don't know if you could do things without touch. Let's take touch out of there.
No, you take my sight away if you're going to take everything else
Let's say you either lose sight or you lose smell, taste, and hearing. You lose sight or you lose smell, taste, and hearing.
Take my sight.
Just take your sight.
I want to taste the food, man.
Ooh, wow.
Can you imagine not tasting anything for the rest of your life?
Can you imagine never being able to play a video game again for the rest of your life? Like not being able to see it? No, I did take my smell.
Yes,
Hey,
you're right, man. How am I going to recruit?
check it
black
out.
football
Yeah, you can't
players?
watch film. By the way, Leo texted me. He said they're going to beat y'all's ass again.
Did he really?
Yeah. He said, tell Jordy. He said, I got the exact check.
He better take that again. He better take that again off of
Tell
there.
Jordy.
He never
Oh, my
played.
bad. He didn't say again. He
Yeah.
said, tell Jordy we're going to kick their ass in flag this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so battle lines drawn.
Leo, you know
keep-
you can text me, bro.
You better keep
You don't
that.
have to text T-Bob.
You better keep that sight. You better keep that
Yeah.
sight, though, bro.
Take my scent. Take my smell.
Yeah,
take my
look,
touch. Take my hearing.
Actually, not losing smell would suck, but it could have some advantages. You could do dirty jobs really easily. So
hearing would be terrible.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah, it
rather
would suck.
lose. I'd rather lose one than the other four. I'd rather lose one than
Yes,
four. I
that's the
would
deal.
rather lose one than four. So take my
sight-
sight.
but I don't think it's a zero-sum equation like that. Sight, you can still read. You can interpret things with those other. Like you can interpret
see, I think
hearing through
there's-
sight better than you can sight through hearing.
There's
in my
multiple
opinion.
advantages.
Unless you're Daredevil.
There's multiple advantages to all senses. I mean, you
Yes.
take away your touch. Think about it. I mean, it's not just being able to grab something. It's the feel.
Well,
in
I don't
which-
think we can take away touch because I don't even. Can you operate if you can't feel? Like if you can't, like, because your feet, you won't be able to feel your feet on the ground. Wouldn't you just be like a big, like numb, like gangly, like sack of bones or something? I don't know.
Probably, but
fair.
Yeah, whatever. I'm keeping my sight. Bottom line, I'm keeping my sight. I don't care.
I'm keeping sight.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my sight too, Leo.
Ooh, son, let's go. It's on. Would you rather never get hiccups forever or never get itchy ever?
dude, I
again?
hate the hiccups. I hate.
When do you get them? I never get them.
I get them
drinking. I have a friend who gets them and he's like a
I
cartoon.
will get them drinking. Not every time though. But oh, that's awful when you get them after that.
It just reminds you of like watching
That's
like
the last
Looney
time I had
Tunes
'em.
back in the day, and the little drunk cartoons, like the little drunk characters are always just walking around hiccuping. And when you're a kid, you like never know what it's about.
I mean, I'll get them if I eat too fast too.
I don't know, man.
I
Take
don't
away
ever get 'em.
itching.
Yeah, me too.
Take away itching.
too.
I mean,
It just
about
sucks.
the times that you're just
It's
standing there by
annoying.
yourself.
Now, itching is satisfying, sure, but whatever.
Easy.
Would you rather have sex with your celebrity crush or your current girlfriend / boyfriend?
I'm single. Celebrity crush.
I am going to have sex with my wife and the mother of my two children. I love our sex so much that I have no desire ever to have sex with any other human being again as long as I walk this earth.
Dan?
Dan's like,
Celebrity
what's a
crush.
girlfriend? I have multiple friends that are girls.
Yes.
Would you rather Let's go to one of the listener ones here. Sorry. Would you rather have inappropriate, uncontrollable fits of laughter every time someone tries to confide in you, or have uncontrollable fits of rage every time someone tries to give you praise? This comes from Jacob Zachary.
You know what? I'd like to laugh anytime anybody confided with me, because my message would turn as that I'm positive, is that I'm trying to make you smile. I'm trying to get you out of this funk.
I'm just scared. I miss my dog so much. This not helping. Why are you laughing?
Just smile. Just smile today.
Oh my God, I would hate you.
Oh my God.
You sound like
I
the
already
worst,
hate myself,
dude.
bro.
But then again, I'd rather be laughy and crazy.
Hey, what if I told
than
you, great show
angry.
today, and you'd be like, F you!
Yeah. Exactly. I'd rather be laughy and crazy than the angry guy.
Celebrity crush. Is that it?
Well, let's do one more from Chad Nelson. He said in, would you rather be stranded alone in a cold environment for 1 year with wood available? There you go, Jordy.
Mm-hmm.
Or be stranded on a desert tropical island for 2 years?
Oof, that's tropical.
Deserted. Excuse me, not desert.
I mean, bro, you're fighting for your food every day. You're fishing.
Yeah,
You're turning into
you're
Tom
doing
Hanks.
like Castaway stuff.
You're talking to volleyballs.
Yeah.
I do hate
taking a tooth out with an ice skate. Ugh,
I hate being
that part.
cold.
Yeah, that's
Stand
part's
being
awful.
cold.
still brutal to this day. Him putting that skate against his dude, and
I guess
knocking him.
just because of the length of time, I guess give me the shorter.
I mean, I feel like if you go full Castaway, now I don't have the skills to be clear, to survive
chance.
either of these
No
situations.
chance.
But
No
let's
chance.
say
I'd be dead
did.
in a week.
Let's say we did, though. I feel like you could hit maybe a nice rhythm on the island. If you had like a solid kind of food source and you got to like, and I just feel like the weather overall would be more enjoyable. Give me the island for 2 years.
Is that it?
I'll take the island, yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the cold.
Good cold. Wow. Man.
Nice entry here.
Why?
I don't know. I just like cold weather.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
But
You're
living in the wrong part of the country,
2
Dave.
years is a long time.
2 years is a long time. That's it for Would You Rather.
Just got a great tweet from somebody looking for players in North Baton Rouge.
Look at him, dude.
DM me.
Look at him.
Mike
Using
Triplett
the-
next.
Off the
Let's
bench
go,
with
Leo.
Colada and T-Bob.
Brought to you
Using
daily by
the
Central,
radio show to recruit.
Brought to you
Flag
daily
team.
by All-Star Toyota. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Remember, you can find them there. You can find them on the corner of Goodwood and Airline. Great selections of both brand new cars and pre-owned and certified vehicles for you today. Camrys right now, brand new Camrys, 0% APR for up to 72 months, 0% APR for 60 months on Toyota Corollas. They got great selections for you today. Stop in and see them. All-Star of Baton Rouge. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Go to allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com, allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com. So check this out. I bought the Sienna recently, right? Just during the show today, I got a text from Charlotte O'Brien. Congratulations, Bobby Joseph Hebert, on the purchase of your new vehicle from All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Your first free service appointment is tentatively scheduled for December 4th, 2020 at 2 p.m. I'll send you another reminder 2 weeks before to confirm. How about that?
Customer service,
For
bro.
customer service, my friends. Not lifting a finger. That's why you buy from All-Star. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Off the bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, make not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists.
It's a Wednesday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. The guys are live from Snow's Seafood and Steak over in Gonzales. Come out from 6 to 8 p.m. and say hello or listen here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Excellent addition to the SEC network lineup. Our guy, Roman Harper, former Bama, New Orleans Saint, Carolina Panthers safety. Remember, online you can hit him up. Hope41.org is his website. He's on Twitter at Harp41, and during the Saturdays in the fall, you will see him on the SEC network breaking down college football every Saturday. He's with us this morning. This is a little bit of a gamble. The wifey's at a doctor's appointment. He's got the newborn at home alone right now, so we're going to check in with our guy, Roman Harper, this morning. How we feeling, Ro? Good morning.
Jordy, what's good, brother? I mean, the newborn is right here in my arm. I'm feeding him. He was just crying. Bro, I'm in. Let's go.
Let's go, man.
I know that goes.
It's good hearing your boys' face, man. Good hearing your boys' voices.
How old now, Ro? We had him around the same time, right? Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm 2 months.
Okay, yeah, I'm at 4 months.
He just hit 2 months.
Nice. Congrats.
Orgeron extend that offer yet?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right.
Wow. I did get an offer from Clemson, though, on my older son, though. He's 4.
Okay. All right.
Already got one.
Dabo will be out by then. Orgeron will still be here. Let's. Hey, I saw you.
You know what? It's crazy. You wouldn't have said that 2 years ago.
I know.
Hey, it's all good.
I know. Hey, I saw you urging the people in Tuscaloosa and the student body to make sure and wear masks. And you're right. Everybody has held the football teams and the athletes accountable. Who is going to hold the student body accountable once they get back onto campus? But this is a must to play football. I know that this is an inexact science of a question to answer, but do you feel like the season is going to happen?
I do feel like the season is going to happen because it seems like everybody in the SEC wants it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but I think the coaches, if I'm a coach in the SEC right now, I better not see one of my students and one of my athletes going in person in class. Everything should be done virtually, remotely right now. Get them away because you just don't trust the student body. And you're not testing them either. So I just, if I'm a parent or if I'm a coach, there's no way I could allow that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of shocked that they haven't gone that direction yet. I mean, UNC yesterday, you saw what they did. They ended up moving the entire student body off campus, and they play in a continuous sports. But it seems like the far easier thing to do is what Roe is saying. Have the players go online and then show up in class. Now, what about this actual SEC schedule, man? 10 SEC games, no cupcakes, no BS. Have you explored the Alabama perspective on this? How are the Tide feeling about their draw? LSU fans are feeling great.
Oh, yeah, LSU should feel great. They lose Texas and they pick up Missouri and Vandy. I would feel better about that, too. I mean, come on. Like, of course you should feel good about that. Look, I just love the fact that it's going to make every week really count. Nobody gets a week off. And to think that you got, I just played Alabama or I just played Texas A&M, who I think is my surprise team in the SEC West this year. You don't get a break the following week. You don't get to, have a warm-up game, in between another game between Alabama and Auburn. So I really like it. It's going to make it really tough on some teams. I feel bad for Arkansas. I feel bad for Vandy. I mean, some of these teams are going to get a raw deal. Yeah, Mizzou gets no love. I mean, it's really tough. But Arkansas, I mean, come on. Did somebody mad at Arkansas? Arkansas loses one team on their schedule, and they pick up Florida and Georgia from the East. Can we not split that up at all?
Yeah, it seems like – yeah, no, Ro, you look at that, and then you look at Drinkwitz and LSU and Bama. It just seems like they did it basketball seeding style. The 1 seeds got to play the 8 seeds.
And you might be right. I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody at the SEC office. I think overall, though, I love that it's going to be highly competitive all week. That not only that, but, the last week of the season – I believe LSU will have to play Texas A&M. Yep. That's going to be a great game. It does not get easy for anybody. There's no breaks in it. And not only that, but I don't think any team goes undefeated this year. There's no way you get through that schedule undefeated. Well, not only that, but you have to be 2 to 3, 4 deep in every position because not only is COVID out there lingering, which we don't ever want to bring up because we just hope everybody stays safe, but, you're taking a beating every week. And it's going to be a battle of nutrition and all those other things, man. You just got to survive. It's going to be survival of the fittest. And I think you will be able to get one or two teams, a couple of teams with 2 losses in the SEC championship.
Yeah, LSU's going to close out with Ole Miss on the last Saturday of December, but they travel to College Station the weekend before that. You mentioned A&M as your sleeper in the West. What is it about the Aggies that you like?
Well, look. Jimbo Fisher's got paid a lot of money to be a great coach, all right? And he's been doing a really good job of recruiting. Kellen Mond's been starting there since he's been on campus. If not now, then when, right? If not us, then who? That is the type of mentality and the mantra that Texas A&M must have. They've been doing a great job on the recruiting trail. Now, a lot of guys, they got 8 returning starters on both sides of the ball. They have more experience. They have more guys that have played a lot. They've taken a lot of the lumps. And Jimbo Fisher, if you're as great as a coach as everybody says, you got to win. You got to go out there and you got to start winning some games. Kellen Mond has not had a defining win since he's been on campus and starting for 3 whole years. He's got more experience than any quarterback in the SEC and has less significant wins than any other quarterback as well. So you have to change that narrative. And if not, then what are we really paying all this money for? Yeah. And then that may actually go into a deeper discussion of, now, wonder a lot of these teams need football this fall so we can actually pay all of our bills, right?
Right. No, I mean, there's a huge economic impact for sure. Now, Ro, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you anything about the NFL, even though you catch you on Saturdays on the SEC Network now, because, dude, we sit here. It's August 19th, September 13th, 3.5 weeks. You get Breeze versus Brady in the Dome. Tom Brady throwing to Mike Evans. What's your breakdown of that matchup?
Oh man, I'm really excited. I think Tampa Bay. I'm so much more excited to see Tampa Bay than any other team in the NFL this year. I just want to see what Tom Brady's going to bring. I mean, automatically they're going to be a more confident team. Yeah. Automatically they're going to win 2 or 3 extra games because Tom Brady's just not going to let you lose. So that's going to be the matchup that everybody wants to see. And the Saints have been the champ in the NFC South Division for the 4 straight years or so. Yeah, so you got to knock off the champ. Yeah, you got to knock the champ off before you can say anything. So it's going to really come down to those 2 teams. Tampa Bay, they won 8 games last year, 7 games, and had all those turnovers from Jameis. I think they will be better defensively this year than they were last year. And, of course, when you got the GOAT, that's going to make everybody just step their game up. They got weapons all over the field on offense. They drafted a young running back, Vaughn out of Vanderbilt, that can be a downhill runner and a thumper. So that's showing up they drafted a couple guys on the offensive line to help protect Tom Brady. So they're all in on what they're doing. I look forward to it. It's all about, can Cam Jordan affect this guy up front? Can they actually take advantage of a young offensive line that Tampa Bay is going to be dependent on? And at the end of the day, can the Saints defense create enough turnovers to get their offense back on the field? And can the Saints offense be more explosive? They lost out on a lot of explosive offensive plays last year. They just weren't as explosive. They were so much more methodical than they've been in the past. And that is not going to be a winning formula in playoff football. We'll win a lot of regular season games, but when the playoffs start, when all the best teams are in it, you got to be explosive and you got to be better than everybody else.
Yep. Give that baby boy a hug, man. He was great during this interview.
Yeah,
Thank you for the time this morning, Ro.
MVP.
Hey, man, he's holding on, baby. Hey, I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you guys. Check me out on Saturdays, guys.
Always.
Yes,
Absolutely. SEC Network analyst Roman Harper checking in this morning. We'll close out hour one and a story that is circulating this morning from USA Today regarding former LSU running back and Baton Rouge native Darius Guice. We'll talk about it next.
Off the bench with Collada and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily here by Central Plumbing Company. Online, centralplumbing.org. 925-8552 is the phone number to call. Jay Payne, Zach Payne, Brandon LeBlanc over at Central Plumbing Company this morning. If you need residential or commercial plumbing services, Central Plumbing Company is ready for you today, and they have been since 1976. The trusted name in plumbing in Central. Online, centralplumbing.org. 925-8552.
Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552 for all of your plumbing needs. Who knows where your boy will be once I start drinking this colonoscopy concoction. But if I have any problems, Central Plumbing's just a phone call away. And I know they're licensed, bond insured. There's flat rate pricing, so I'm not going to be surprised by any numbers. There's a warranty, 30 days on service work, a year on new installation, so I have that peace of mind. So I don't think twice. Any plumbing needs, I go to Central Plumbing. Also, you want to buy and install a home generator, they do that as well. Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Citizens Bank is proud to bring you the Fan of the Week. But during these times with no fans, Citizens Bank is switching its support to the Banking on BR campaign to raise money for the Baton Rouge Food Bank. You can help out by visiting brfoodbank.org or bankingonbr.com.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a new Camry for $239 per month or take 0% financing for 6 years. $239 per month or 0% for 6 years. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This is a house call. This is a test result. This is a prescription refill. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. Start your virtual visit today at Auctioner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. and I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Yo, join us for a Wednesday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney, presented by Richard Tonda. We're going to welcome on Luke Johnson of the New Orleans Advocate to talk about the New Orleans Saints training camp and more on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, stick around. OTB OT coming up here with T-Bob as they will talk recruiting coming up in the third hour. A very sad story for two former LSU athletes or two former LSU students is being published over at USA Today. A story that started on August 3rd for USA Today, 4 days before former LSU running back Darius Guice was arrested in Ashburn, Virginia for domestic violence charges up there and is scheduled to be in court in a Virginia courtroom on August 28th. A USA Today investigation found out that two former student athletes or two former students at LSU are alleging that Darius Guice raped them while he was on campus. The alleged incidents occurred between January and June of 2016. There is a reference to Ed Orgeron in this article with a comment that Orgeron made during that time. And this is going to be something that LSU is going to have to address from a public relations standpoint. As far as the legal circumstances, this seems like this is more trouble for troubled running back Darius Guice. That is a Baton Rouge native and was drafted from the second round by the Washington Redskins just a couple of years ago and is yet to really make an impact due to injury at the next level. He was waived. He was cut by the Washington Redskins a day after he was arrested on August 6th, or he was arrested on August 7th. And he was cut that day. But as you read this story on the USA Today, it seems like that Guice was in that he had some incidents before he got to the NFL, according to these alleges.
You know, I don't know what I don't know if this is the stuff that they uncovered in the pre-draft process, right? When you had Mayock out there and he's talking about like the things that I know, you know, there's reasons why this is so hidden. When everybody sat here and we defended him because it's one of those guys where he has a great natural charisma, right? And as the women, and this is the most heartbreaking part to me in all these situations like this, is that the women feel completely helpless in terms of going public, in terms of seeking help, because these characters are so beloved, and he was super beloved on campus. And if you've ever dealt with Darius Guice, not in that situation, chances are you had a positive interaction. I mean, I was completely fooled. I had no idea about any of this, and now as and I've always, you know, it always sickens you, but I can't help but have new perspective now that I have two daughters, and you start to think about them getting older and them being in these sorts of situations, and it's heartbreaking. And it's not just when the act goes down, but it's the kind of fallout from the act that continues to haunt these people years down the road. Now, Darius Guice is going to get his. I think the other thing is, what did or did LSU not know? I mean, that's what they have to address here, because the story does not read very good. It doesn't read good for the school in terms of things being reported and arguably not followed up on. I'll like to see what their explanation is there. And the anecdote about Orgeron doesn't read well at all either. One of the players was dating, there was a player dating one of the girls, and according to the story, allegedly, Coach O told the player something along the lines of like, oh, well, everybody's girlfriend sleeps around or sleeps with other people, so that happens. But look, I don't know if that's true. Like I said, that is alleged, that is in the story, but the fact that it is in there means that I believe that they have to respond or have to address it in one manner or another. And that's the other sad part about this, Jordy, is like, to me, it doesn't even have to be that nefarious and in a way that's almost more depressing, right? If there is somebody pulling the strings and being like, we have to sweep this under the rug, that's something you can understand. That's something that, like, yes, that's evil, but that's like clear evil, right? You kind of see it right in front of you. More depressing to me is that this just is kind of sometimes the natural rhythm that these stories take, that just don't like people want to remain willfully ignorant. If you're in the administration and you hear about this story, how much digging do you actually do? Do you want to uncover the truth, or is living in that era of plausible deniability, is that the more comfortable zone to exist in?
You can help me out on this, and I think that LSU, if they knew anything about it and they didn't follow up, they'll have answers. They'll have questions that they'll have to answer on this. And from the timeline standpoint, January to June of 2016, Les Miles was the head coach of the LSU football team. The quote from Orgeron is not good. I am curious on why, when this happens, why the police are not brought in and why it's put on the university. There's so many examples of universities letting people down in these situations, whether it's knowledge that they have, whether it's knowledge that they uncover, and especially when it's dealing with an athlete.
So I have no idea, because obviously that's kind of the victim has to make those choices. If I had to guess, if you maybe it's a feeling that, you know, you're going to your immediate supervisors at the school. Maybe it's a feeling that you can remain anonymous if you go through the school channels versus maybe having to file a police report where they can try to protect your identity, but maybe they're less successful at it. Like, and I understand not wanting to be publicly known because you will get torn to shreds by all these crazy LSU fans that don't want to believe it or want to tear you down, all these things. So it's depressing on so many levels, and I don't know why. And I hope that LSU addresses this as soon as they can and puts protocols into place to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Hour 3, stick around. Recruiting, NBA bubble last night, NBA playoffs. Games start today at 12:30 on TNT. I'm back with you tomorrow, 7 a.m.
Off the bench with Collada and T-Bob.
Secure Shredding and Recycling, online, secureshreddingandrecycling.com. Remember, you can get in touch with Gaines Garrett and his crew over there. If you're looking for any type of document destruction, they can help you. Secure Shredding and Recycling is a premier provider of document destruction services for individuals, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and government agencies. They are online at secureshreddingandrecycling.com.
Secureshreddingandrecycling.com, secureshreddingandrecycling.com. Look, the document destruction business is a services business. Okay, they're there to serve you. So with that comes a relationship, comes an attention to detail, comes the advantage of being local, of being LSU grads, not just a number on a national spreadsheet. Okay, no, they are there to serve your needs. They can bring a truck out to your location. They have drop-off points in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, coming soon, Alexandria. They can bring it back to their facilities and get it done. Either way, mention Off the Bench. Go to secureshreddingrecycling.com.
This is big. Really big. I mean, really, really, really big. Because Honda's summer clearance event is going on right now at Richards Honda. With 0 to the 4th power on brand new Honda Civics. That's 0 down, 0 due at signing, 0 security deposit, and 0 first month payment. Plus, summer clearance on every new vehicle in stock. Just another reason why people call Richards Honda the smart choice. I-12 at Millerville Road and richardshonda.com.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Wednesday, August 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see partly cloudy skies with a high of 90. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Brought to you by Carriages. Coming up today on OTBOT, we take a look at the NBA playoffs, take a look around NFL training camps as well. You can follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch us live on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Make sure to subscribe to the Off the Bench YouTube channel and set your notifications for new content posted daily. OTBOT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
What up, y'all? Welcome in. Hour 3 of OTB. We call it OTBOT. I'm your host, T-Bob Hebert, Danny Cardenas, Matthew Musso hanging out with you as well. This is generally a pretty mess-around hour, and it's going to be again today. I just, it's kind of an odd juxtaposition with that last segment where we're dealing with some very serious subject matter, and I'm not just trying to move on from that or ignore it. But, for now, we just got to let this story evolve, and we'll see what LSU knows, and we'll just see where it all goes. So the transition might be jarring, but we're going to dive in to some less serious talk this hour, as I want to talk a bit of college football. I want to talk about what this UNC bubble means for the rest of college football. I want to do a little NFL training camp check around. What are some of the big stories that are kind of creeping through the grapevine? What you'd be most concerned about at this point of the year? I want to get through some of this Ed Orgeron sound and the bubble last night. Musso, you said you've been in on the NBA playoffs. Did you hop back in last night at all? You watch any of it?
Yes. Let's see. I watched about the second half of Magic Bucks.
Okay.
And I fell asleep in the third quarter of Lakers.
Yeah, makes
Blazers.
sense. Great game, but late. It's the late one. It makes sense. We wake up very early. You know what I've been doing for games that I miss? And I absolutely love it. And I do this with NFL games. I do this with every NFL game, just have like a general idea of things. I go on the NBA YouTube and just watch their 9-minute recaps. Gives you a great flow of the game, right? You get highlights. They're well thought out highlights. It's not just like, it's not just like cut very by like a program or a machine. You can tell these are people. It gives you the entire flow of the play, the run up to the basket, and you really see who's going tit for tat. So even if you don't watch every NBA or NFL game, but you kind of want to be in the know, like if you play fantasy or something like that, I cannot recommend the NBA and NFL YouTube channels enough. I think they are fantastic. We'll come up with a new poll question at some point in this hour. Yesterday's poll question is, what's the most underrated gaming console of all time? It was basically the consoles that got buried by the PS2. We had Dreamcast, we had GameCube, and we had the OG Xbox on there. Danny, when it's all said and done, who won?
So Nintendo GameCube won with 39%, and behind was original Xbox and then Dreamcast.
Wow. Still after death, Dreamcast can't get any love, dude.
It's close, though. If the winning vote was only carried 39%.
That's true. That maybe speaks to, you're right, there is a splintering there. It's not like there's an overwhelming favorite. All three of those obviously have their little contingencies of fans. I probably would have gone Dreamcast. I just remember it being so mind-blowing back in the day. Though the OG Xbox, LAN parties, Halo, 16 players, 4 boxes, all put together. Some of the most fun you could ever have. And then GameCube's all right. I mean, I didn't have a huge affinity for GameCube. I know many that do. Mario Kart Double Dash, maybe the best Mario Kart of all time, though. But let's talk about this UNC bubble, y'all. First off, I'd like to get both of you, crack your mics. What do you think? What was your reaction when you heard, because we've been saying how worried, the biggest point we're worried about is students returning to campus. What was your reaction when you heard that about the outbreaks among the student population at UNC?
Shock and awe. No, I'm just kidding. It was, I mean.
It's right, like, you're not shocked.
Of course that happened.
But did it make you more, or like, how did you feel about that in relation to what it means for college football?
They needed to find another way because it wasn't, I mean, it happened at Notre Dame too.
Yeah.
Notre Dame just moved to online classes because of an off-campus party.
And we were actually applauding them because they had done a really good job over the summer of managing amongst their student population. What about you, Dan? Did you become more concerned about college football when you saw the UNC story?
I mean, they need to make the switch to online classes for athletes. Like now, I feel like official. I don't know what they're waiting for.
Exactly, right? I don't know what the hesitancy's for, which is kind of funny because does it sound like we're talking about two sides of our mouth? I mean, we spent the whole first segment today talking about leadership and kind of thinking about it and talking about how in this case, Sankey, his more patient, push things back, wait and see how everything develops, get information, then make a decision, how that seems to be the play. But in this situation, I'm almost calling for the Kevin Warren technique. I think you need to be more proactive. I'm with you, Danny. What are you waiting for? Like, I think you should put these athletes into online-only classes. Make no bones about it. Let's just all stop with this farcical song and dance about what a student athlete is or isn't. Like, if you don't want to keep students off campus entirely, well, that's fine. Take the athletes off, and then you can still play football. And that's why, actually, ironically, although I think a lot of people's first reaction when you heard the UNC story was very negative. It's that, like, oh, college football is not happening, right? That's where a lot of people immediately went, and I understand that because students are the big concern. But the fact that one of the first things UNC addressed was not only that they're going to go online only, but then that football would still happen, to me, that almost makes me, I come out of the other side, flipped all the way around, and I ended up feeling more positively about the chances of college football given this UNC bubble because it shows the level of commitment that some of these schools are willing to go to. And granted, UNC's got a lot of football momentum right now. So it makes sense that they were going to kind of keep this train rolling. But at the same token, UNC's not exactly a football powerhouse, right? I mean, they're a school that you could see with get away with being okay with maybe pushing back football season. So if they're willing to go to those links, you have to imagine that schools, like your Clemsons, your Notre Dames, your LSUs, whatever, will be as well. So I think that people are willing to not be so rigid in this situation. I think that people are willing to be a bit more fluid and they're willing to figure things out. LSU's campus is not open yet. Today, Tuesday? Yesterday. It opened yesterday. LSU's campus, I believe, we can double check, but I believe.
I think the first day of classes is the 24th.
Okay. So we still
classes start on the 24th.
Okay, so we still got a little bit then. I know that people started showing up last week, maybe for orientation or something. We'll see what happens to the LSU numbers once it opens up. Chances are it's not going to be good. But as Danny said, that's fine. Move to online only. Like, there are ways to figure this out. It just takes somebody making that call. And granted, I don't know the legalities around it with Title IX. And do you have to have all students online only? If you go to online only and you're a student paying for tuition, do you suddenly have legal recourse then to be like, I don't want to pay full tuition, dude, if I'm not even like going to campus and stuff? Like, yes, this is a can of worms.
That building fee you have to pay.
Yeah, this is a can of worms in so many different ways. But But we love football, and I want football, and so that's the perspective that I am viewing it through, and the lens that I'm viewing it through, and I think it's come to light that that's not. I mean, it's real easy to be very dismissive of that sort of attitude, and I won't even fault you if you are, because I get it. You could argue that it's a bit myopic and a bit just like kind of narrow, but as we've mentioned, there is very real economic, community, and emotional cost to all of this, and football it brings everybody together, man. So I hope it happens. I hope it happens at college level. I think it will. I'm feeling good after UNC. I hope it happens on the NFL level. The Saints are returning to training camp today, and this is that kind of terrifying time of year, at least in my opinion, where it's the gains that you are making are gains that take place in the shadows, right? Now, granted, in the NFL, you can have fans out there and other stuff, but you're still not in the meeting rooms. You're not actually getting the truest look at who's improving, who's making names for themselves, where do you still have to improve. So there's not a lot of payoff for the fans in the preseason. It's not like when you go and see them play an actual game on Sunday or Saturday, and then you have a scoreboard to point to, and you can say, okay, you have the great feeling of losing, the great feeling of winning here. A lot of times in the preseason, the only news that can happen is bad news, and we are fully into the injury season of training camp. And I'll be interested to see when we're on the other side of this if the pandemic shutdown affects it negatively in a way. But look, you had Vince Beagle, the Dolphins pass rusher. He tore his Achilles. He's out. You hear about Gerald McCoy for the Cowboys. So he signed that 3-year, $18 million deal. He had an injury waiver because he has tendinitis in his quad. Well, sure enough, his quad ruptures. He is out for the year. He is now cut from the Cowboys. Now, they're maintaining good relations. McCoy gets it because apparently McCoy says he is going to stick around, remain in the organization, be a leader, et cetera, and he still gets that $3 million signing bonus. But yeah, the $18 million contract, that's gone. Ruptured quad. Dallas's D-line takes a bad hit. Robert Alford, the corner for the Cardinals, tears a pec. He is now out for the season, and these are just the biggest names. And then right here, as far as Saints news, that you saw a little bit of as well with Andrews Pete suffering a broken thumb that's going to hold him out 2 to 3 weeks. And as Mike Triplett said, normally that's not a big deal in the preseason, but we're only 3.5 weeks away from a game. So here, Andrews Pete, as he signs a big contract, congrats to him. He's feeling the pressure. He comes in incredible shape. He's ready to honor that contract and ready to make that jump. And now he's going to lose the entirety of that prep process for game one against Tampa. That's such an uber important game. Brady versus Breeze, when you need everybody 1,000% locked in. It also accelerates the importance of Nick Easton, and he needs to step up. Ruiz for sure is going to be a starting guard, probably was going to be either way, but this would almost cement him in that role. Can the rookie first-round pick be ready to protect Drew Brees so that he can be at his best against Tom Brady in a battle of the GOATs? We'll see. And then what form is Pete in when he returns? So yeah, all NFL fans around the league right now are kind of walking on eggshells a bit at this point in the year because you just don't want to hear about losing your best player in a practice. And it's got to be stressful for the coaches, right? How do you navigate the delicate balance between wanting to be physical, wanting to replace those preseason games so you can really evaluate guys? How do you find that balance between doing that and then not exposing yourself to too much risk? There's no great answer, right? A lot of gray area, and it's techniques that you develop through the years. Now, the flip side of this bad injury news, if we go around the NFL and look at some other camp news that I love, to be Alex Smith. Did y'all see him? Full pads, dude. Full pads, practicing. Unbelievable, man. And I mean, you think about it, yeah, I'd have to read up on Washington FT's football or roster as a whole, but I do feel like Alex Smith makes you a significantly better team off the jump. And I think that in football, where quarterback is the end-all, be-all, going from Dwayne Haskins, who just isn't ready yet, to Alex Smith is like, that's multiple wins on the schedule, or at least I guess it remains to be seen with Rivera and company. Ron Rivera's happy that Alex Smith is back. I continue to be terrified of Mike Evans and Tom Brady. The news is coming out hot and heavy. Mike Evans absolutely loves Brady. of course, calls him the GOAT like everybody does, which makes sense, but goes on to talk about how he kind of sounds like the inverse Aaron Rodgers. You know, Aaron Rodgers always got drama with his coaches, with his teammates. Mike Evans says it's the opposite with Brady. He's down to earth, family guy, just wants to work his ass off. I remain scared of that connection if you're a Saints fan. I feel bad for Bears fans. Speaking of quarterback play, Coach Matt Nagy, probably sucks to be him having to answer Mitch Trubisky questions every single day of your life. But they were asking him, you know, has Mitch improved in the offseason? And he said that he has not seen enough to know that Trubisky has improved. He can't quite say that yet. And here's the deal. He's not wrong. Like, right? I mean, you're early on in practice. You just put the pads on. You haven't seen enough. But if you like your quarterback, you just answer that yes. You don't go the honest route. You don't sit there and say, I just don't know that I can say that he's improved this offseason. You just say, yeah, he put in the work, et cetera, et cetera. This clearly shows you how Matt Nagy is not at all happy with his quarterback situation or Mitch Trubisky, and why would he be? And then finally, how about this? Adam Vinatieri. I didn't think about this. So Adam Vinatieri is out in Indianapolis. That ended last season. Adam Vinatieri had been with the Colts. I didn't realize how long it's been. Boys, he'd been with the Colts since 2006. What were you doing in 2006, Musso? What were you doing in 2006?
I wasn't even paying attention. What happened?
Adam Vinatieri has been with the Colts since 2006. He left at the end of last year. I'm just marveling. I'm just sitting here in awe at doing something that long. And I guess I just didn't even realize. Like, I was a junior in high school in 2006. I was running around, going on spring break and acting a fool, you know, doing tests and stuff. Now I have 2 kids. The entire time Adam Vinatieri was kicking. What were you doing in 06?
Let's see.
How old were you in 2006?
I was 2006, 7th grade, maybe. No. Yeah, 7th grade.
So, you know, if you take your birth year and then you take 2006 and you subtract your birth year, you'll actually get your age in 2006. Is that you get what I'm saying?
Really?
Here?
I did not know that.
Yeah. How old does 7th grade make? Is that like 12, 13, somewhere along those lines? What about you, Danny? How old were you back in 06?
I was in 4th grade.
Oh my
I don't
Dude, neither of y'all know how to answer a question about age?
Well, no, sorry. Okay,
how
let me
old
do the
are you
math.
in
4th grade. I don't know
2006?
how old a 4th grader is.
Oh my God, how old were you at? Like, I'm born.
Okay, how old is a 4th grader?
I'm
usually?
born in 89, so I know that I'm 17 in 2006. How is this?
I was 13, T-Bob.
You just looked on your phone.
Yeah, I did.
You just got a calculator out.
Yeah, I don't have time to do math right now.
Oh my God, dude.
It actually depends. I might not have been if November hadn't rolled around.
No, I
Could've
know,
been
but that's
12.
not the
You never
point.
know.
We don't need that exact of an answer.
You just told me I didn't know how to answer a question about age, so I gave you an age. I don't really know why you're upset.
I'm just laughing at the fact that you got out your calculator.
It's quicker. I don't have time to just do subtraction in my head. I got a degree in broadcast journalism. I'm not a math person.
Yeah, you're right. I apologize. As a general studies major, I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, so I get it. Look, the point is, Adam Vinatieri held it down forever, okay? Good luck to whoever has to replace him in Indianapolis. Also, apparently, Frank Reich is doing those competitions where you make the kicker kick and conditioning's on the line, which I love in terms of simulating pressure. All right, when we get back, I want to get to some of these Ed O comments. Also, we'll talk some recruiting coming up. I get in touch with somebody right now. Stick around here on OTB OT.
OTB OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder, Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner Care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens, if not thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. Russ Mitchell reacts to the SEC schedule, and the Saints are back on the practice field. We'll have a practice report. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
And then you carry the two, okay, and then that's all it is.
No, you're not showing your work. You have to start over.
And so like you do a slash, you put like
right.
a 10, and then and that's how you end up with the answer.
Always show your work.
Crazy. It means you're 17 years old.
They're good. Actually, no.
No,
I'm not.
No, you're not. Not right now. But you are bad at math. Welcome back, OTBOT. Okay, right here, real quick, just a quick update in case you missed it. Alabama came out yesterday. They said that their stadium will be 20% capacity. They said you'll have to have masks on. I believe the mask thing is an SEC mandate. As far as capacity and tailgating plans, they are leaving that up to each school. But I think Alabama's probably important to highlight because I would imagine LSU would fall into a similar plan that they would. And so Alabama is going to allow 20% capacity according to Greg Byrne and no tailgating. So unfortunately, I have to imagine that probably means no tailgating for LSU. And then they say that that the capacity allowed in the stadium will be kind of dependent on your local situation, what's going on around you. Per capita, things, whatever, things could change in another month, so we'll see where we're at. But it'll likely be a lower number. So it sucks. But, hey, man, it is what it is, okay? If you got to give up some stuff to get football, that's fine. I'll take it. Also, I know a lot of people don't love going to the stadium and the game day experience as much anyway nowadays. But then also I know a lot of LSU fans that kind of feel guilty about that, right? Like, they love watching the game at home. They love their setup at home, and the TV and the beer and everything, and the bathrooms. But you feel like you're maybe not doing your part as a fan. Am I crazy? Do y'all ever feel any of this? Like, if you catch yourself wanting to watch the game at home instead of going to the game, like I guess I don't know why. I always felt back in the day like I just felt a little guilty, like I was somehow not doing my part, not making Tiger Stadium as crazy as it should be. But man, that TV at the home just looks so good, dude.
I mean, I enjoy the in-stadium experience a lot still. So I would always just prefer to be there. But, I mean, I don't know if I'd feel guilty for not. Maybe because, like I said, I always just enjoy being there.
Yeah, I either way, though. I think it probably makes sense for LSU. But if you're someone who's been getting unenamored with the game day experience, well, that's fine. Now you got a perfect excuse to just chill at home, and you're helping the home team, right, if you do that. So we'll see when that becomes official. The Saints are back on the practice field right now. They opened up 30 minutes ago. Some questions that I have going into today. First and foremost, how do you handle the Andrus Peat absence? It probably looks like Easton and Ruiz starting at guards with McCoy in the middle. But then what about behind them? How about our boy Willie Clapp? He moves up in the depth chart now. He gets some of those precious repetitions of which in this truncated camp there are not many to go around. Can he make a move? We'll see. Who will be the wide receiver 3? Mike Triplett says it's Traquan Smith. Okay. That is Traquan Smith ready to make the jump. And then again, what does that jump really look like, right? Because Breeze has so many options, and you got Thomas and Sanders at wide receiver. You got Kamara and Cook that would obviously come before even Sanders in a lot of cases. And then maybe you get to Traquan. But the thing is, if there has ever been a quarterback who is well-suited and an expert at taking advantage at the full breadth of his arsenal, and that would be Drew Brees. So I think on this team with this quarterback, the question of wide receiver 3 is more important than it would be in a lot of places. And then again, I just want to see more Rankins and Davenport. Where are they at this year? And are they ready to go? All right. What was I going to get into here? We could transition to this Ed O sound. I had something else I wanted to get to. It'll come back to me. Let's go. Let's go to the Ed Orgeron sound. He met with the media yesterday. It was the first kind of normal press conference that he has had in a while, and we'll start here. Orgeron was asked about kind of his teammates' attitude and where they're at in this debate of like, do players want to play? Are they scared of playing? Here's what Coach O had to say about his team's headspace.
But I do believe that the attitude around here is that we want to play. Obviously, that's going to be the doctor's decision. That's not our decision. But if they tell us we can play, we want to play. So we feel comfortable. Our guys, the guys that did get sick, most of them are asymptomatic. They got quarantine and stuff like that, but we didn't have guys that were really sick that we had to take to the hospital or anything. So I think our guys are getting used to it.
It seems like LSU players in line with a lot of others to the country as they want to be out there on the football field this fall, even knowing the risks that they will be exposing themselves to. Here is Ed Orgeron 1 on kind of how he manages this team and does he compare himself to other teams around the league when he's trying to evaluate how his team is doing?
Bobby April is an analyst for us, and Bobby did a study of teams that won championships and the year after. And he went and interviewed some of the players and asked them, say, hey, what's some of the things that you think the coaches did well? What's some of the things that you think that the coaches didn't do well? And one of the most common mistakes is to mention last year's team and compare this year's team to them all the time. So we don't do that. But we do mention leadership. We mention LSU standard of performance.
The LSU standard of performance remains one of the key cornerstones of what Orgeron's built here in Baton Rouge. That's interesting to me, especially I can't help but pull from my own life experience where, I was a part of a 2011 LSU team that then lost in a national championship. And on the SEC championship rings that we were given, they put number 2 nationally on them, despite the fact there was no need for that. Like it was an SEC championship ring, right? That's for seniors. That's for leaving teams. And the logic behind it was to motivate the following year's team. And after hearing that from that already felt misguided at the time and like a bad use of rings. They should not be a motivational tool for the future. They are a celebration of the past. But then to hear Coach O talk about how one of the key mistakes, and again, this is a guy that is leaving no stone uncovered when it comes to trying to find the competitive edge, constantly trying to learn, trying to evolve. How can you avoid the same pitfalls that got defending champions of the past? And it seems like one of the main pitfalls is that constantly looking to the past and comparing yourself to the past. And here Coach Miles was, and he did it in like the most permanent way that you possibly could. So again, just a vast gulf between where you were and where you are right now. Finally, let's close with this. So as we mentioned, LSU going to be playing Mike Leach, Mississippi State week 1. Obviously, that is a huge defensive test. Leach has better athletes now than he had at Washington State. And you could say that the relative competition level is higher even with the better athletes, in terms of Mississippi State versus the rest of the SEC and Washington State versus the rest of Pac-12, and I'll entertain that. But he still has more dangerous weapons. And he has a quarterback in KJ Costello who should, in theory, be able to take advantage of it. A guy who 2 years ago completed 65% of his passes for 3,400 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks, a great stat line. A stat line that, honestly, if Miles Britton put up this year, you would be happy with. You would. Even if that's only half of what Joe Burrow did, that's still really good. So it's going to be a huge test for LSU defensively in week 1. And Bo Pelini and his impact on the defense, well, that will decide a lot of where that test goes. Here's what Coach O had to say on Pelini.
On defense, I just can't say enough about Coach Pelini, what he's brought. Exactly what we're looking for. Toughness, very smart coach, knows his defense in and out, knows what he wants out of it. We're all learning from him. Our guys are taking to him. He's an aggressive coach, but he's a player's coach, and they love him.
All right, when we get back, we will address some NBA news. Also, I want to talk about Drew Brees' new haircut. Here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN.
OTB, OT. We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
If I built a van, it would do more than haul.
It would carry my entire business. I'd make it available in dozens. Make that thousands of configurations.
It would keep an eye on my fleet.
And an eye out for danger.
If I built a van, I'd make it available in diesel and gas. And I'd build it right here in South Carolina.
Introducing the all-new Sprinter, starting at $33,790. Built in the USA. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Citizens Bank is proud to bring you the Fan of the Week. But during these times with no fans, Citizens Bank is switching its support to the Banking on BR campaign to raise money for the Baton Rouge Food Bank. You can help out by visiting brfoodbank.org or bankingonbr.com.
It's a Wednesday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. The guys are live from Snow's Seafood and Steak over in Gonzales. Come out from 6 to 8 p.m. and say hello or listen here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, welcome back, OTB, OT. Talking about Space Jam 2 during the break. LeBron James in the new teaser. I thought he looked good. I mean, you're not going to learn anything about the movie. I'm ready for another Space Jam. I did see an interesting, I do like the jerseys as well, actually. I did see an interesting take in the group text today, though, about how one of my buddies saying he's not excited because one of the novelties of the original Space Jam was when in the pre-social media age, we didn't really have like as much access to these athletes, and Michael Jordan especially could be kind of closed off at times notoriously. And so seeing him in this sort of lighthearted environment was so different and such a nice little like an extended time to hang out with MJ that it had a lot of novelty there. Whereas in LeBron in the social media age, you see him all the time, you're with him all the time, both on the court and off the court, behind the scenes. And so there's a little less attraction there. I don't think I agree. I like Space Jam. I like cartoons. I really like when humans interact with cartoons, right? Whether it's like Mary Poppins back in the day with Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews or Michael Jordan bebopping around with Bugs and Lola Bunny. I just think it's fun. Or Bill Murray. Bill Murray's the best part of Space Jam 1.
Is this a remake or a sequel?
I believe it's not a remake. Like I don't think it's going to follow. I would have to imagine it's a, well, I don't know, it's a reboot because a reboot.
I mean, it's just called Space Jam again, isn't it? It's not there's no 2 or.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't feel it's a direct sequel. Maybe it will end up being. I wouldn't imagine.
They didn't really leave any.
Well, New Legacy probably
story.
Feels more like a sequel. The thing is, though, if it's a reboot, like reboot to me implies you're taking the same characters and kind of taking them different directions. LeBron is not the same character as Michael Jordan. So I have to imagine if we're getting strict with our classifications, I imagine it's probably a sequel where there will be some like references or callbacks maybe to what happened in the past. And now we got to like do it again, or like something else is coming here. Or maybe we team up with the Monstars or something, but that you will have I don't think it's going to be a reboot. I think it will exist kind of as a continuation of the Space Jam story.
There was a comment.
And universe.
There was a comment on there. It was like the first comment. It was hilarious. It said LeBron would switch over to the Monstars. It's like right above your head.
Kevin Durant would.
Kevin Durant already did.
Kevin Durant definitely would. I mean, I guess, yeah, I almost feel that LeBron gets a bit too much flack for the big three stuff because he was not the first to do a big three.
He wasn't.
Right? I mean, Boston would kind of be the modern first big three where the players took it upon themselves like, wait, we're just going to team up and become really badass and then we'll win. Also, I feel like sometimes when we fault these players for joining forces in that way, and then compare them to people of the past, I can't blame a player for wanting to control his destiny like that simply because in the past, the only way that there were players that we think about that are some of the greatest of all times that were part of incredible teams. They had big threes. It's just that they were big three made during a more traditional kind of team building period. And so they just got lucky. So I'm cool with a player want to be like, no, I want to steer my own ship. I still think that Kevin Durant, though, crossed a line into where it just becomes untenable, right? You can't be up 3-1 on a team with a 6-point lead late in the fourth of Game 6, chance to win the series, and then blow that game, blow the series lead, and then join that team that just went 73-9, right? Everything has a line where eventually you can cross. Kevin Durant crossed it. I don't think that LeBron did. I'm excited for Space Jam 2. NBA was great yesterday. Things I came away very impressed with. Like I said, I hate the Houston Rockets style of basketball, but its effectiveness is just wild to me. It is a complete and utter exploitation of the three-point line, right? This all started with Golden State and their leadership talking about how the three-point line was essentially a market inefficiency, and the math behind it showed that it's way more effective than people have been banking on. They start shooting a ton of threes. Look what happens. All of a sudden, the lineup of death appears. The big guy is dead. Now, if you want to be a big guy, you got to be able to shoot threes. Houston went all in on this. They have taken it to its natural and logical and extreme conclusion, which is they just post up 4 or 5. They post up 5 guys around the three-point line. Somebody drives. He either lays it up or he dishes it, and it is unceasing, and it's every possession. I mentioned those YouTube videos earlier, right? You watch a Houston Rockets YouTube recap, and all it is people shooting threes the entire time. And it's working, which is maybe the craziest part. Other things I was struck by. Is there a scarier athlete in the world on physical appearance than Steven Adams? I cannot be. I've watched him for years, and it doesn't matter how many games I watch this man play. He is just such a beast of a human being. I cannot imagine what it would have looked like on an ancient battlefield lining up across from that dude. Sword and shield in hand, doing the haka in your face. You might as well pee your leg. You're done. This ain't like Achilles. You aren't pulling any sweet Brad Troy, stab to the next. You're done.
That man is 27 years old.
Which is the weirdest part.
That blows my mind.
You're 27, right?
I'm 26. I'll be 27
You're
in November.
26. Danny, you're 23? You're 23. I'm 31. That man is 27 years old. He's younger than my little brother.
That blows my mind. Look, he's 35. That's just crap.
He's Cal
not
Drogo.
27.
I mean, he looks like a Cal. He's just it's crazy. Watch him play for years, and it just never stops. I'm always amazed by him. Speaking of big man, I'm amazed by Vucevic for the Magic, dude. Now, I think the Bucks probably sweep them from here on out. I think it was just a lapse from the Bucks, but that was unbelievable. And then, look, what was not a lapse was Blazers-Lakers, man. The Blazers just might be better. I mean, when you look at the bubble now, the Blazers are 8-2, dude. The Lakers are 3-6 now. They got problems. They're good. They're still very good. Obviously, you can't have AD and LeBron and not be a championship caliber team, but it's not all working right now. How do you lose a game in which LeBron gives you the stat line that he did last night? What was it, 24, 16, and 17? 23, 17, and 16. Unbelievable. And yet you lose that game. And LeBron, look, he was the maestro. He was organizing everything. You need Anthony Davis. Like Jordy said earlier, the overall depth and talent of their roster means that you need Anthony Davis not just to be good. He has to be great night in and night out. And it sounds funny, but even though he scored 27 last night, he wasn't necessarily great. He didn't take over. And they're going to have to because Portland's deep. And Portland looks strong, not just Dame. Yes, Dame's at his best late, but even Melo, dude. When you even got Melo giving you quality, he was pronounced dead. He was done. And when he's giving you fourth quarter finishing minutes, hitting big threes, he's in shape. What are you supposed to do, dude? Portland, if Portland goes on to advance and even goes on to a championship, what a crazy story their season will be because they were dead in the water. The Nurkic and Collins injuries had completely upset the season. Lillard was doing his best, but he was running out of steam. And then the pandemic hit, and they may be one of the few people that benefited from the pandemic. They got healthy. Lillard got to recharge his batteries. He got back his juice. And now my guy, Dame Time, he is just killing it right now. And so we'll see, man. I think Portland, with a strong statement last night, has a great chance of upsetting LA. I don't think that, as far as Magic Bucks are concerned. Today you got Brooklyn, Toronto. I expect Toronto to roll again there. You got Utah, Denver. I'm just excited to see that one. I don't know who's going to win. I mean, the first game was so spectacular. Mitchell 57 overtime. Philly, Boston. Boston probably makes it 2-0 there. And then you got Dallas and the Clips. And I think the Clippers move to 2-0 as well. We will see, though. And when we get back, we'll wrap up OTBOT here on 104.5, 100.3, and 94.7 ESPN.
OTB, OT. Off the Bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube page. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf.
Yo, join us for a Wednesday edition of Hanging with Hester and Haney, presented by Richard Tonda. We're going to welcome on Luke Johnson of the New Orleans Advocate to talk about the New Orleans Saints training camp and more on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Okay. I wasn't feeling this at first, but when that trumpet came in, now I'm kind of like digging it. They can hear this, right? On the YouTube. Okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, that was going to look really bad if not. Welcome back, OTBOT. Thank you to everyone hanging out in the YouTube chat still. Very good day there today. A lot of fun, a lot of great conversation going on. Shout out to Laura Guion, probably the MVP of today. Just like I said, actual in-depth, nuanced conversation taking place. A lot of great takes. Also, Laura, not only does she have great basketball takes. Let's see. Her last segment, she said LeBron can't carry a team in the West. Okay. A girl baby writes, says Portland is scrappy and I love it. She says she thinks the Magic win one more, and she thinks Dame is the most fun player to watch in the NBA, not even close. Also, she found what appear to be the first statements from LSU in regards to the Darius Guice story, which is from a Black Sports Online article, which, look, I hate that site, dude. It's so, it's one of those classic Bleacher Report, you have to click. There's 1,000 different pages for there's a page per sentence essentially to try to get clicks up. But she writes it here in the huddle. This is LSU's response. Quote, LSU and LSU athletics take all accusations of sexual assault with the utmost seriousness. Formal complaints are promptly and fully investigated, and the rights and privacy of students are protected as stipulated by the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Complainants are also strongly encouraged to report the offense to law enforcement and are provided information on health care and counseling. All right, well, that's a bit of a, that's a canned legal answer, which is to be expected from a PR standpoint at this point, but that is not going to be enough to satisfy people who are digging into this story and trying to get answers about who knew what and exactly what went down. So we'll continue to monitor it as LSU. Yeah, Joey L saying that's probably the best thing LSU could do for right now. From what I remember in the few business classes, was time is everything in a PR issue. They waited till this evening, then rumors could start flying. Yes, you have to get out and say something immediately. I agree with that. Hear a lot of old cliches about control the narrative, whatever. So you have to get something on the record. But yeah, now you need to be scrambling to figure out exactly what went down those years ago and how you can be responsible for it. How you could take, just make sure it never happens again as well. Okay, so another awkward transition as we move from a very serious story to kind of wrapping up the show here. So as you said, Saints practice is going on right now, and Drew Brees is sporting a new look, boys. If you saw him in his team interviews, look at that. Drew with the shaved head. Of course, he's been fighting male pattern baldness for many years now, as we all are. He hasn't gone the full Moscona route. It looks like he left a bit of peach fuzz there. Poll question of the day. We'll get the results tomorrow. We'll live online today, though. What do you think about Breeze's new haircut? Yay or nay? Are you a fan of it?
Looking at it again, and I was. He might have should have just kind of gone almost bald.
wait. Okay,
well,
so
here's why.
You think he should have shaved completely bald,
Probably.
or you think he should have left it kind of longer like he had?
If he was
close
going
cut?
to cut it, well, and wasn't it, Danny? Didn't you say it was for charity?
Yeah, apparently he got it done March 5th for charity.
Well, they don't have enough hair for lots of love, huh?
So, but I mean, so if it's for charity,
Yeah, shout out to
okay.
charity. Shout out to charity. That's fine.
I
That's not
imagine
what we're
he's
talking
gonna
about.
grow it back out. I wouldn't think he's going to keep this look if it was for charity.
Okay, he did say, he said it was two things. He said, first off, he is going bald. And so he said that's easy.
okay.
And then he said, secondly, it is super hot outside. And so a shaved head helps in that regard. So I don't know if this is permanent or not.
But if it's permanent, you can't. He's still thinning so much right here at the front. You got to just off it. Like, you can't just keep that little bit. That doesn't.
He looks way older with it cut for some reason.
He looks way older for sure.
With hair, with the little hair he had, like he looks younger.
He would he would ironically look younger if, like Muso's saying, he had even less hair.
Yeah.
I think if he did the full shave, he would actually look younger than this kind of peach fuzz thing he has going on. That said, I like this. I kind of like it. And the reason being, okay, I always think, I can't help it, I always think about these great NFL quarterbacks as like old Roman generals, right? And with this haircut, Drew Brees looks more like a Roman, an august Roman bust of a senator than he ever has before. Like, tell me you couldn't see that in white marble sitting in a museum somewhere. Yeah. Like 1,000%. He looks like a Roman general. He is a general of men. He's ready to go. He is the GOAT. He's ready to beat. We got a full-on Pompey Caesar throwdown coming September 13th behind two of the greatest. And I think this look for Breeze, it's more mature, more august. Like I said, I think it gives him the advantage over Tom Brady with his full locks of hair, whatever else he's doing to make that happen. All right, that's today's show. OTBOT, thank you so much for the excellent production and engineering from Matthew Musso and Danny Cardenas, my guys. Great work. Thank you to all of our wonderful listeners, everybody who interacts and shares like the stream and everything. That really helps. Subscribe to Off the Bench. Subscribe to 104.5 ESPN because we'll be live all day. See you tomorrow.
OTB, OT.
Are you a licensed